rebels are here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Ghost Reveries, our Zweihander grim and perilous RPG. I'd call it an adventure, but it doesn't feel very adventurous in the conventional sense. When I think of adventurous, I think of like Bilbo running down the pathway with the contract in his hand.
I think of
that's
treasure
adventure.
goblin sounds too.
I mean, we kind of did that with letters, except it was not as whimsical.
No.
They're adventure minus whimsy.
No whimsy here.
There is no whimsy.
Only soul.
None. To tonight's episode of Ghost Reveries.
Oh, yeah.
Tonight's episode is episode Tevin. Tevin.
Heaven!
Yes! Kevin, you're in danger. Episode Tevin.
Episode Tevin.
Oh, no.
It's 8.5, halfway between 10 and 7.
Or 10 and 11.
That's Tevin.
10 and 11, Tevin.
Oh, yeah.
Kill me now. I'm in a great place to run this game. And this is why the compliments are not going to happen, because I am garbage. So, let's try that again. Tonight's episode of Ghost Reveries, episode 10,
Love you.
entitled 10 Swords Go to War.
I get it now.
And that is where we left off. The three of them lying on the ground, their ears ringing from the explosion. As Anya lies there, the shouts for the fire brigade can be heard as a hand cups underneath her elbow and helps her to her feet.
Who is it? Is it anyone I know?
Through the haze and the ringing, you're not really aware. Right now, it's just somebody helping you up.
Either way, I'm grateful for it. I'm holding on to, if they're wearing a jacket, their jacket.
It's a jacket,
It's holding on to their jacket to stand up.
Sig is gonna just like try to orientate himself and just try to look around and see where you two are.
Standing up, Sieg can see that Sable is getting to her feet nearby as well, as Anya is standing there, being helped up by a gentleman. Aye. That is a terrible explosion. Are you okay? Says Cyrus in your ear, wearing his gray fineries.
Yeah, I'm fine. I let go of his arm, and I just like, I'm good. I think I'm bleeding.
A hand reaches out and he moves your hair to the side, fingertip kind of stroking your cheek. Oh, this is just too much. I'm gonna have to see about getting that fixed up, huh?
I'm gonna go see a doctor. A very good one. I'll be okay. Where are the others?
You can see them just out of the periphery.
I'm gonna go make sure they're okay. Walk away from Cyrus. Run over and just like grab hold of Sieg's arm. You okay?
I'm good. Are you fine?
I'm good. I'm
He
good.
pulls his cane out from under his arm and leans on it and kind of just twirls his mustache for a moment as you go and check up on the others.
Sybil's been like cupping the ear that she had recently surgery on, and she's like, ugh.
Still attached.
Yeah,
Still attached.
she's just like, oh.
Your ear's still there.
And then looking up, seeing Cyrus across the street is. How close is he at this point?
Sorry, I knocked into the camera there. There, that's fixed. He's literally on the street with you. He came over and helped Anya up.
What the? Why does he keep fucking showing up after we deliver his goddamn letters?
Do you say that loudly, like out loud, or are you just personally asking that?
I think at this point, Sig's just kind of frustrated, and he would say it.
Make a perception test.
Okay.
Little awareness test there.
Yep. Oh, I'm still ignoring that skill rank from last time.
Oh yeah,
we're all in all.
You're all
sorts of-
periled up.
Oh yeah, no, I did not succeed that.
Everybody
perception.
makes it, by the way.
Okay. Good.
Yep.
Sieg
Okay.
definitely does not notice anything.
Ugh, this is not a good roll when I'm ignoring all my things. I succeed.
You see Cyrus's eyes flash with rage for a moment, and his cane clicks heavily on the cobblestone as he walks over to Sieg and says, "You seem to be scuffed up too. Let me take a look." And he grabs in at your collar and pulls you nice and close. You keep your tongue in your head by keeping it silent.
You're welcome for delivering the letter.
What did I just say?
Sable kind of moves up, putting a hand on Sieg and then like gesturing towards Cyrus. Please, you know he means nothing by it. You have to understand, some days it feels like the entire universe and the Exalted are out to get us.
He puts his cane under his arm, pushes Sieg back, kind of brushes off his shoulders and checks his mantle, gives him, grabs on either side of his chin.
Ah!
My chin?
Yeah.
Face grab.
Just kind of moves you side to side, pushes you back with a little bit of a shove, but if you weren't looking for it, you wouldn't notice it. You seem okay. I'm glad I was here to be able to offer my assistance. If you ever need any kind of succor. He pulls out a small token, basically business card. He says, "Come down to my establishment. I'll be there tomorrow. I'm having a little get-together. I would love to check and see if you're okay before that happens," as the fire brigades and a crowd starts to grow. He turns around. "They're okay! Somebody help put out this fire!" As he kind of looks over his shoulder, giving you space.
To get out. Okay.
As the fire brigades press in,
Tyler, that business card. What's on it?
it's
Is it defined card stock?
make an education test.
Oh, son of a! My raw intelligence.
Raw
Yeah.
intelligence,
No, I can't make
education
that.
test.
Are we
Fail.
all making it?
Anybody who looks at it can make it.
I mean, yeah, you kind of shoved it right in my fucking face after pushing me away.
Oh, the boars your face, Brad.
Ooh, wow.
Success.
I succeed.
That's actually a critical success.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
I realized, I was like, wait
Okay,
a minute, 55? Yeah, okay.
Both of you recognize it. Sieg recognizes it as some it looks like a crest from a local from a nearby within Aberdown as a hold on. I think it was a duchy. Hold on, checking my notes.
No checking. Important.
I
Okay,
get
that's
such Jekyll and Hyde vibes from Cyrus.
It sounds
most
like
days.
it feels like he even had like his like accents. He changes his accent.
No, I think
Purposefully.
he just changes the way he talks, whether it's proper or not, depending on who's around.
Well, yeah, when he's like trying to be like, "Oh, they're okay, they're okay. I'm going to slit you alive," and it's like, "They're okay, they're all fine. I'm going to fucking murder you."
Well, he hasn't said he's gonna murder me yet. I
Ah,
might
there's
wish
my
he
notes.
did.
There's my
Somehow
notes.
I feel like that's a very intimate act
Aha.
of him. Thankfully,
Okay.
I went
It is
unmolested.
a duchy, a dukedom.
A duchy.
Yes. Also may have been pronounced Dookie, but usually that gets a immature giggle out of most people. It's within the dukedom of Matrisette, which is where Aberdown rests. And it's a church because it has the exalted symbols with it. It's something that Anya recognizes immediately. It's the cathedral that your family took you to be baptized at into the exalted faith. You live in the capital. There's a lot of children born. Not every child can be baptized in the exalted faith at the Grand Cathedral of the Exalted within Aberdown. Kind of like there's other churches near the Vatican.
Yeah.
Just because you live in Rome doesn't mean you're going to be baptized by the Pope in St. Peter's. Similar concept. It is a rather large cathedral within Matrisette, which is the dukedom that the royal family resides over as their as kind of like the home. Think of like the dukedom in which Paris resides, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it is that cathedral. Cathedral of the Blessed Martyr. Every church or cathedral tends to lean in one direction or the other. It is the grand cathedral of the exalted that represents. It's like St. Peter's Basilica in Rome. It is the church where the Pope does mass. Only that one is truly equal amongst all of them. Even the one that you were in back when you were in Arathmar Bad had a leaning towards the paladin. But all of them give deference as they all have the four-sided entrance with a shrine at each entrance. It just so happens that the one that points to the martyr is kind of the front of the building, if you were to call it that.
Do we know where the Grand Hierophant Celestine, what like is in terms of churchiness? Because Cassandra's not okay. Straight up Pope.
He's a straight up Pope.
Thank you. Okay.
Not having the same. Like the thing about the Pope is that he rules basically over the Vatican.
Yeah.
The Grand Hierophant does not have a patch of land that he rules over like a king.
Okay, so the cathedral isn't necessarily Vatican in the way that like a traditional Pope and the Vatican relationship would be.
Well, there is only one of them, so traditional is literally just that thing.
Okay.
There is no land that the Grand Hierophant claims as his domain.
Okay.
All
he can be at any church. It's not like he's only at the one church and that his like.
Yeah, all of Exalteddom is his domain. And there is investitures, and there is all of the appropriate things that go along with the highest ranking official in a grand church organization has. He just does not have the extra element of also presiding over land as a lord.
Okay.
He views, like I said, he does not need land, for all of Exalteddom is his domain, and the king is still a king. But the king must retain favor with the exalted. Okay. And of course, the voice of the exalted on the face of An Domhan is the Grand Hierophant. Lore.
Thank you. Sorry, I asked church questions.
It's okay.
Continue.
So you know exactly where it is. You know it is within Matrisette. You also know that the town, the reason why you don't go back there that often, it is not cursed as Rathmarban was, but you do know that people avoid it because there was an outbreak. It was quarantined for a period of time within the past 10 years. And the town was abandoned. Its cathedral standing empty.
And this is within...
It's within 1 day's ride of Aberdown.
Okay, so in order to get there tomorrow, we'd have to leave today.
Yeah, you could get there at the end of the night. Well, you could get there by nightfall if you left in the morning.
Okay. And Cyrus he's walked away from us now?
Yes, he's actually, you can see him actually kind of barking orders at the fire brigades and helping organize people and telling them what happened in the crowd. He's a bit of a showman, you can see, as he is speaking to the crowd, and there is literally a burning fireball of many colors from the different apothecary and alchemical ingredients inside that building, and they're still paying attention to him.
What is the narrative he's telling them? You said he's saying what's happened.
You said you were moving away.
Mm-hmm.
You don't hear it over the shouts of the fire brigade.
Also,
the roaring
massive
of flames.
fucking
Roaring of a
headache right now.
fire. But you're able to basically get away as... It's not until recently that fires have become kind of a calm affair that is controlled by a single entity, like a fire, like firefighters in most civilized nations. In our world, it used to be a very chaotic scene, and especially when fire brigades were fighting for funds to prove that they were required. Fire brigades tended to fight before they put out the fire to prove who should put out the fire. Cyrus stopped them and got the municipal fire brigade, the city fire brigade, and the district fire brigades to work together very quickly before punches were thrown and cudgels were used. And now he's talking to the crowd, and they're paying attention to him. They look to the fire. They're not enthralled by magic, but he's just, they're eating out of his palms.
Can we go?
Yeah, guess we'll visit our good doctor, patch us up.
Well, I think I'm okay.
I am not going home empty-handed. I still have pockets full of gold. I would feel a lot better if I were to pad out my purse right about now and just lovingly look into it.
Okay, we do that next then. I don't know where we would go to do that, though. I mean, I guess we could try a pawn shop, or...
Oh, I know a douchebag. It's fine. Okay. But are we all... Oh, God, you are bleeding. And she, leans in and does, that, and licks her glove, and it's just trying to, You're literally dripping with blood, my God.
I'll be fine.
So he pulls out a little bit of her cravat and is just trying to, dab it away.
As we're walking, and Anya's just
Yeah.
stop. It's fine. It'll stop. It'll stop very soon.
Alright. What about you, Sieg?
I've been through worse, but I was not expecting. I mean, I was a little bit expecting some sort of engagement of some kind.
You can definitely see his cheek is swelling up, though.
We're not going to talk about that, but
when his face got dribbled off the floor.
Yes.
But I'm just glad that we all made it out of there, considering how fucking bad that was.
I'm not going to dwell on the fact that the payment was upon how many of the people we delivered the letters show up in the meeting. Considering now that there's only one of the three alive, that means we are completely being cut. Which is funny because I also feel like the letter may have completely been pointless.
Well,
She's like walking
yes.
as we're talking to start making her way towards the Stenfod that she's familiar with.
As you skirt through the growing crowd, you find yourself moving towards Bellman's Bazaar, a Stenfod merchant's establishment, about halfway between the heart of the Foreign Quarter and Westgate. The city, it's around midday, so there's plenty of people on the street. Anya gets some looks as she's banged up, but a noble woman with marks and scratches tends to be an odd combination.
I'm aware of that one time I tried to climb a tree and fell out of it and had scratches all over me and got yelled at profusely by my mother. Another reason I do not want to go home right now.
So we have to keep you out until your wounds heal?
Until I can hide them?
Makeups.
Though she probably already knows about it.
Oh, I'm sure.
Making your way to Bellman's Bazaar. It takes maybe a half hour, 45 minutes on foot. The explosion, you didn't really go to your carriage, gentlemen. But you arrive at Bellman's Bazaar, a small, connected shop to a larger building. It's kind of like a corner shop situation attached to, you're fairly sure it's attached to it within the same building is also, you're fairly sure it's a compost vendor. So the faint whiff of decomposing plant matter and honestly horse shit wafts through the air, as the Foreign Quarter obviously is where the foreign dignitaries live. And the further away from the Foreign Quarter you get, and the closer to Westgate you get, you end up having your less affluent individuals who are not native Britons of Britton heritage. This is where your Stenfod and your lesser put together Galians would be found. Dwarves and elves to the uneducated here. Those are slurs in my setting, though. But I still need to let everybody know about that. Can't just assume everybody understands that thing. Anyway, moving forward. You arrive at the bazaar. The door, a sturdy oaken affair, open. Inside is a riot of everything you could possibly think might be sold secondhand. There are shelves with toys on them. There are shelves with used gardening equipment. There's a rack of sifting pans, mining equipment that Sieg is familiar with. There's also a pile of cashews on a barrel.
Sounds like any other thrift store I've been to. Seems this line.
There's a clothing rack of a riot of just every size, every style from across the face of An Domhan. And not like, oh, look at out. No, obviously this was sold by people who arrived in the city and needed to get money. So there are Galian dress. There's a Galian dress. There's a Stenfod's tunic. There's all array of different birth. There's a soldier's uniform. A soldier's uniform from mid-March, but a soldier's uniform nonetheless. All of this, and there's shit hanging from the ceiling. There are animal head trophies on the walls. There's a few instruments, the necks of stringed guitars, just kind of sticking out of a barrel together, as they look to, as you see that no real clerk is currently working. There is a small bell on a desk in the back. All the wood is a dark, worn kind of wood that you're fairly sure it should not be this weathered, considering that it's indoors, but somebody must have kept the door open very long for it to be almost wind blasted on the deck.
Sable, as we're entering, is getting like distracted. She'll walk in one direction, like, we should just ring the bell. He's usually in the back with the good stuff.
Good stuff.
Oh, yes. She's going to make her way up towards the front and...
Do you think he'd have what I need for Rubedo?
I don't know.
As you hit the bell, where within the store, like what is Anya looking at? What's C looking at? And I know Sable is by the counter hitting the bell.
Yeah, she's like actually leering over the counter a little bit, just kind of investigating.
Like a little fucking magpie, crystals, rocks, things that can be used for
There's
Rubedos.
just a pile of rocks.
That's literally what Anya's looking at.
Sig's probably looking at like the various pieces of like armor or clothing, weaponry, seeing like, well, anything interesting that could kill someone just to look at.
I mean, there are rocks, and you can kill someone with those.
I mean,
But not with a handle.
As you hit the bell, you don't really hear any. There's no real response. You're still looking at things, walking around.
Is there like I mean, she was looking behind the counter. Is there a back area at all?
There's a back area. You'd have to hop the counter though, or open the access flap.
She's just going to make her way. Just make her way.
Are you supposed to be back there?
That's a strange word to use. The clerk's supposed to be in the front. Hello, I could use some help. Anybody?
I mean, if no one's here and like, I'm not saying I'm going to. I'm just saying if no one's watching things, you should really be watching things. Otherwise, if I was a less decent person,
Please don't steal anything.
I'm not. I'm just saying someone should be at the counter. Otherwise, someone could steal something.
I wouldn't suggest stealing.
I'm not saying I'm going to steal something.
I'm just
saying
saying
that
of all
it's
the places
not a
to
smart
steal
thing to not
from-
have someone at the counter.
I'm gonna buy some rocks.
There's always eyes.
Where? Is it on a shelf? I don't need any, but...
Taxidermy.
As you pull the rocks off the shelf, one of them falls to the floor. And as you go over to... Does she pick it up or she just lets it? Okay.
She's gonna go over and go to pick it up to like put it back on the...
As she picks it up, you noticed it rolled into a boot. And what you thought was a pile of clothes on the floor, you notice is a Stenfod on a rice bale with a hat down over his face.
Excuse me, sir? A rock went in your shoe.
Oh, you found him.
You can hear a soft snore.
From Sable's place behind the counter by like the back door, she's gonna be like, just give him a nudge. Actually, hold the money around his nose, and that should be enough to wake him.
Okay. I'm gonna take out one of my silver coins and just be like...
As you go into your purse and the jingling of coin
No.
happens, A hand goes up, pulls the hat off his face, and he stands up. Hello there!
Oh my god! You're right! You're actually right! I absolutely do hate him. Thanks. You were right.
Oh, this is what
With
this was about.
his eyes blinking, as his eyes adjust to the light in the room. Oh, I am terribly sorry. He puts the hat on his head. It's kind of a wide straw kind of hat. Looks extremely out of place, as you'd think a farmer might have worn this thing. He dusts himself off and adjusts his tunic. He's dressed very plainly, and he adjusts his hat. And he looks to where, like, almost with preternatural radar, he looks to Anya's purse and says, "I am Joseph Bellman." And holds out his hand.
Mr. Bellman. And
Proprietor of this establishment.
oh, lovely. A rock went in your boot.
Oh, yeah. It happens. Pulls off his boot, just shakes it out. 3 other rocks fall out.
Little trash gremlin.
Puts it back on.
So you've done business with him before.
She like leans in on the counter from behind it and
As
Yes,
soon
you
as
could
he
say
sees
that.
Sable, his fucking face changes. He says, "You're not supposed to be back there.
you're not supposed to be sleeping.
That's my prerogative. This is my store."
I was inspecting the back to make sure no one stole anything.
"Oh, really? Well, I'm just going to have to check it again." As he
Good.
starts
It gets you behind the counter
making
this
his
time.
way over. He's definitely on the smaller end of the Stenfod height range. He's actually maybe 4'10" tops.
I'm not a soldier.
No, definitely was not a soldier.
I am almost a foot taller than him.
He walks around. You can see his hat is actually helping you see where he is in
Oh
the
my
store,
God,
as it's just over the shelves.
Cat's tail in the snow.
So he walks through a couple of the shelves, walks over to the counter, just low bridges underneath the counter where
Like
the
the
flap
kiosks,
is.
yeah.
Yep.
Hops up onto one of the several little soapboxes he has set up behind the counter, so that he's about eye height with Sable. "You can get out from behind my counter now."
Well, everything's right now that he's actually manning his store, and she's just gonna give him a little wink as she goes and ushers her way onto the other side.
He closes the counter behind you. "So, what is it that I can do for you?" His demeanor kind of calming out as he's in a place of power for him.
Well, I don't necessarily know if you want to start talking about that out here, and she starts pulling out from her hoops a little bit of the gold and like reflects it into his face with the light.
Like a Ferengi that's been shown 6 bars of latinum, his eyes light up. That's a reference. He says, "Yeah, you can put that away. We can maybe arrange a viewing in the back room."
So can I come behind the counter again?
Only because I said so this time.
Okay. Well, they're going to come with me, and if you would like to see what I've procured for you this time, we will also be purchasing some of those rocks, but we could talk about that later.
I think I can deal with that. He hops down. The counter opens, and he walks towards the back room. And you're noticing as you walk further towards the back, the smell of the neighboring compost vendor. Because gardeners got to get their stuff somewhere in the city.
Yep.
It grows far stronger. His hat bobs behind the counter as he moves towards the back room. So it's kind of a the counter goes to a wall that kind of comes out where the door is. It's not like the back room is literally an open door leading directly back perpendicular.
Okay.
The counter is here, the door is back here.
Okay.
He ushers you towards the back.
Sybil leans into Anya. Whatever he suggests is the price of those little filthy rocks. Assume that it's 10 cheaper.
I need it for...
We will get you rocks.
Okay.
I promise.
If you say so.
I mean, as long as you're not handing out your coin like you did to...
No, don't even let him see it anymore.
I don't want to talk about it. Took me way too long to figure that out.
Don't worry, I won't let this degenerate fleece you.
I mean, he's not going to fleece me because I'm just not going to buy anything.
There's no fleece to... Yeah, no. Sorry.
What?
I realized it was rude to say you're poor.
Thus, I was not going to buy anything. I'm not saying that I couldn't buy something, but I'm going to save my money.
That's shrewd of you. Very good.
So, takes you into the back. Now, when I say he takes you into the back, I mean you walk down a very narrow, claustrophobic. Shelves are pointing in maybe this far apart. You have maybe 2 inches across away from each shoulder before you would hit a shelf.
It's just to, like,
It
walk
almost
sideways.
Yeah, you almost feel a little bit more comfortable sidling down the hall, crab walking down the hall.
I'm having retail flashbacks, but crab
There's
walking.
even more just junk, but you notice that the junk on these shelves is a little bit nicer. There's some shine to some of them. More precious metals can be seen. There is a mason jar of silver rings with assorted gemstones in them. Just a mason jar on a shelf. There is a box with chains, necklace chains, just hanging out of it. There is a cigar box, opened, and dappled in it as though it were chocolates in a fine chocolatier's box, are pearls of various sizes and colors. The door behind you, as you walk past it, you notice is very thick and very well locked from the inside. You can see as you walk past it and kind of look over your shoulder, you can see the many bolts that can be thrown on this door. And you get back to a room that is the size of a gas station bathroom.
Sable?
It is maybe 10 by 10. It's a closet.
Do you
I've had
trust,
closets bigger.
Yeah.
do you
Your
trust him
bathroom's
enough to not,
Yeah.
Considering our previous experience of the day, being sent into a back room or basements of a stranger in their shop, and
this
then
isn't
imminent murder
Zeke,
attempts were
Zeke.
made? Yes.
This isn't a stranger.
Nah.
I don't know him.
The answer's complicated. No, I don't trust him worth a damn, but he's not going to kill you.
As he gets to the end of the hall and turns around, because you're talking in a very small hallway at the very
Yes.
edge, he turns around and he says, "Well, if I wanted to take advantage of you, it'd be rather easy. Well, them rocks rolling around in your head."
Because I'm...
Mining class, right?
Yeah. Well, what about you?
Merchants.
Clearly. Alright.
There's just better business down here.
That's fair.
So,
Why
well,
bother?
your coin is just as shiny as the rest, right?
I'll think about it.
Rocks. Rocks, right. Anyway, speaking of rocks, I saw that you might have had some attached to something in your bag there.
Yes.
Bring it here, and he pulls out a small shot glass sized eyepiece, and from a desk, and a little puff of dust comes on.
She goes to pull out the goblet from
Licks
her...
his thumbs.
Goodness. Oh. She starts to pull it out from her skirts, and she stops for a second. And she's like, "You understand, this is a holy relic."
You understand? I'm onto your bullshit.
Yeah. Well, all right. You could leave the blood on. There's a little bit of it on there. I don't know if it'll sell for more.
Oh, that'll
or
come
not.
right off. He grabs it.
So. So she pulls out the plate as well, and she hands him the goblet.
He holds it in his hand and just kind of. Oh, how much did I tell you it was originally? Because you appraised them yourself.
So the plate is 5 gold. The goblet is 20 gold, but the gems in the goblet can be taken out. The 20 gold is only for the gold goblet, not the goblet itself.
Yeah.
Yes.
He holds the plate. Oh, I'll give you 2 for this. Puts it to the side.
What? 2 estates? 2 palaces? 2 what?
2 gold, and you'll be lucky to have it.
Are you out of your mind?
I've been told on occasion, but I need to make money too.
Well, obviously the rocks in your head could probably go for more. No, that goblet's at least worth 20 on its own, not counting the gems within it.
Takes the goblet. Says, I could sell it for 20. You? I'll give you 15 for it. Hold on a second. Puts the eyeglass and jams it to his eye so that it like rests in his eye socket and clenches down. And he says, "Let's see here. This is blue quartz. There's a peridot, a red garnet. There's a nice spinel here."
Also, note, these aren't fully stolen in the normal manner. You don't have to worry about selling these to lords.
Yes, they're cut. They're cut though. I also wouldn't sell the whole thing. I'd melt it all down anyway. Okay. I gotta do some quick math.
No.
And some rolling. I'll give you... Give you 5 for the peridot.
You got notes on this?
As he pulls out a small spoon-like knife. It's a knife, but it's got a little bit of a hook to it. He just literally pops the peridot out of the socket.
A melon baller.
I'll give you... Okay. For the spinel.
Are you getting a rock hard on yet?
I don't want to talk about it.
I'll give you 10 for the spinel. $8 for the garnet. And did I say sapphire? No. Blue quartz. Blue quartz.
Quartz, it shouldn't be that much money.
There's 3 blue quartz though. There's 4 blue quartz, 1 for each point.
Ah, okay.
Of the symbol. So there's 4 blue quartz, and that will be. Give me a 3-piece for each of the quartz.
That's 12 altogether.
Now,
What I know about the rarity of the stones, and
that's gonna be
that's
gonna be a test. Now that he's pointed out what they actually are, and the fact that they're pre-cut, and the fact that you were able to look at them, you need to make
We're at 69 gold.
a scrutinize test.
Scrutinize. Well, shit. I was hoping it'd be something intelligence. I'm sorry.
Can I try? No, why not?
Yeah, we're all without our actual things,
No.
but I can give it a roll.
Nope.
Scrutinize.
I thought, maybe because
You have 9
money.
fortune in the bank right now. Just to let you know.
Alright, so what's everyone's... I would have to roll a 40.
I'd have to roll 35 because my
28.
skill's still down.
If we want to try, we can. I would suggest...
Yeah.
If you want to go for it.
Alright, we'll use 1 fortune. And see if we could figure out.
Mm-hmm.
If not... It's not.
Aw.
We're not gonna... It's okay. Literally beaten up. We exploded out of a building.
You're ignoring skill ranks.
Yeah.
You're not 100% sure.
Sable assumes he's
If
gonna...
his assessment is right. But you know he's undercutting you. So you can still make a bargain test
Yeah.
to haggle.
It sucks that finally this is something I'm good at, but in fact it doesn't matter because shit, everything hurts.
You put a point in barter in bargain?
No, but that would be a fellowship test,
Yeah.
which is yeah, I suppose technically I would steal the base.
No.
Damn it, Klug!
Well, thank you, Klug. Why, thank you.
There's a look of like weariness on Sable's face as she's just sitting there holding her hat and then looking at the gems and just like, take me for a ride again. You know how much business I bring you all the time. Could be a note.
And you pay for my secrecy.
You melt it down anyway. Honestly, I don't see the difference.
I could... If the church officials decided to come down here and investigate my things, I would have to do a lot of explaining. One of them is to be why I had these cut gems. And why I had, this much gold just in it. I'm doing you a favor.
How about this? If you give us an additional store credit, I won't sit here and bicker with you for the next 3 hours about how you're fucking me. In truth, my friend wants some rocks, and I also need to pick up some armor.
Well... Hold on, I have to do quick math because people are being...
She's just like prattling on. In fact, this one's actually a highborn blood. It doesn't look that way, but
Hey.
that does mean that I have a new additional line for sources. You know what I could be bringing back?
We'll see what you're looking to get.
Very well.
And then I'll decide. But the prices that I gave you still stand. And I'll give you 15 for the goblet. You failed the bargain test.
I know! I know.
There will be another bargain test as you try to get store credit for the thing, but my prices stand.
Make me do a lot of math right now.
In-store credit. Impressive.
84.
What?
It's plus 69 plus 15, you said, right?
No, not plus 15. I'd already added in.
Oh, you already added in 20.
So I
Okay.
had to minus the 5
Mm.
because
Make
it's
it
15 instead of the
64.
20.
All
So
right.
64 is where we're at right now.
Oh, we're not at the number.
No, it's no
We're
longer
not-
nice.
No, it's not nice.
All right. Well,
Shit, that made me happy.
Anya, what exactly of your pile of pebbles did you need?
Would I be able to purchase what I need for Rubedo in the shop? At least some of it.
The river stones, you could find a few that you find affinity to. Those would be simply 1 silver apiece.
Okay.
The required materials for Rubedo are several rarer alchemical. It's not the level of spun or calcum, but
So I'll need to go somewhere else after this.
possibly, yeah.
Okay.
Because a month's worth
So
of
if I'm just gonna get stones, then I might as well just go to a river.
Well, the stones that you have can constantly be reinvested.
Oh, I thought
So
after
you don't
every
need-
month I had to replace them because they're being worn down.
No, you have to replace the invested materials that get put into the rune carved.
Okay.
It's the red that you put into the carved
Oh.
stone.
Okay, I get it.
What the hell?
Oh.
We're in safe. It's
I
gonna be
can't
fine,
put
guys.
that much. I can't.
Mm.
I'm gonna.
That's-
Can I reroll my bargain?
I can't
Can I
put that
reroll my
much.
bargain test?
I can't put that much fortune into the pool.
Infinite fortune.
That breaks the game, Leo.
Breaks the game. It's wonderful.
Leo.
Wonderful.
I'll put them to the maximum that I can. Then how about that? All right. You're at 15.
15 all night.
Oh my god. Drinks
Leo.
around us. Yay.
The hell.
Oh,
Thank you. Support is extremely appreciated.
especially
but what the
considering
hell?
We're without our skill ranks right now.
10,000 bits.
The help
for,
is
for
appreciated.
fortune. 500 bits per fortune. I can't do that.
Okay. All right. So, of what you wanted to purchase, are you getting?
If I can't buy anything from the store here that'll help me, then I have to go somewhere else.
Do you have any supply of books? She like looks over to Anya and then looks over.
But there's
Rare
libraries.
ones.
Oh, you can go check the library
Yeah.
if you want.
Listen, I
No,
understand.
my library. It's
But I
out in the
think the-
front. You'll see it.
Yeah. I don't think the books that I'm gonna need are gonna be at a library here.
Anya, I don't know if you fully grasp that I 100% am in no way noble whatsoever, and that I frequent an establishment that has a back room selling off unique items that no one else should ever see or have. And so when I say that there might be books there that you like, that should not be here, maybe you should check that out. Take my word on it this time.
But in the front room, you know how bad I am at finding things.
I mean,
Oh, no.
Well, actually, in this case, it would be intelligence based. It'd be more like a research test, if anything, because you're looking for specific books. This would be an education test.
And is it something that... Do I know that I'd be able to find the... You said originally I'd be able to find these things at a library where I wouldn't have to pay for them.
To get access to actual spell working stuff, you'd probably have to, because you'd have to go to the university, and then
Yeah.
you'd have to spend time researching it in the library, which would double the amount of time you have to spend because you can't take it home.
Oh, whereas in this way you could
This
take
way, you
home,
could buy it, have it.
I don't know if I'll have enough money for it, but...
We'll find out.
What kind of test?
What kind of test?
Yes.
It's well, we'll role play it till you get there. So it'll be an education test when you get out there. It's just you can go check the library out front.
do you want me to come with you to help get
I'll
through
be
the...
fine.
Oh, okay.
Are you accepting my offer?
That's a lot of gold.
You think it is, but in fact he's absolutely fucking us again.
Then why do you keep coming here?
Because she loves a good fucking.
Yeah, well.
That only I can give. I mean, unless you have another fence somewhere in the city that I don't know about, which, mind you, I would be very insulted if you were going to somebody else. But we had a relationship.
Sable just like turns to the shelf, grabs the shelf, and just like holds it, her head spins around. Okay, well, you said it depends on what we wanted in the store, so let my friend look at the books, and I will be taking, most likely, if you have any brigantine armor, something I could pad out the bones of my corset with.
All right.
I saw along the front you had some pieces, but I'm going to probably rip them apart and re-stitch them into, so I don't care if it looks nice.
We'll see. Hold on. And he starts shooing you back out to the front,
yes.
leaving.
Books, I'm gonna go look at books.
As soon as you guys get past the door, he slams it behind you, and you see him run like 4 exterior locks across the damn thing. Putting all 4 different keys in different places on his person. He then walks over to one of the soap boxes, hops up. As you head out, he points to the far side of the shop. You'll find the library over there. And you know where the armor is. And he points over to the racks.
What is the difficulty for this?
This will be a challenge?
How organized?
Challenging.
is
It'll be a
Joseph?
-10. Because when you get there, when he said library, he was being very generous in his description. It's a chest with piles of books in it and a small 5-gallon barrel with the top off of it with scrolls jammed into it vertically.
It was either going to be a critical success or a critical failure, depending on how difficult. It was a success.
Oh,
So it's
crit success.
I rolled 44.
oh God, that roller coaster! Jesus.
I was just like,
Okay.
I didn't know, so I left it
Yeah.
there, and I'm just like,
All right.
Clenching.
Yep.
Butt clench.
Oh, come on, table.
Of any other place that Ani would critically succeed, a library seems the most
It's not a
appropriate.
library. It's a chest that I'm looking at it, and I'm saying
It's a
that
library.
as I start
Library.
It's a library. That's
As I
the
start-
most books I've seen in one place, except for that.
I need to
one
bring you
place
to
that's
the
not in-
academy.
I mean, I've seen it in a few studies, but that doesn't count because I'm usually not paying attention then.
I can recommend some books. The library at my home is bigger. We can go there. Oh, no, I don't want to. My mom will ask questions.
Your mom lives there. Of course she's there.
I mean, but not all the time.
I'm sure anytime Anya's nearby. Pretty sure she gets messengers across town and pays double to get there quicker.
Damn it, I
so
found
that
where
by the time you get
scrolls
there, she's
are.
Makes it look like she's been waiting the entire day.
I found where scrolls are, but it's not listed as to what they cost. Scheiße. Black market goods?
Hmm.
Nope.
Probably, if I'm not getting them officially.
You're
Is-
paying
is
money
it-
for
is
them,
it
so it's
in-
way more official than if I give you something.
Is it in the loot area? Commodities? No. Damn it.
What's that face?
Okay. You're able to find 2 scrolls. The first scroll is... Hold on one second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there's 24. And so that means... Okay. Ooh. You find one of Will-O-Wisp. I actually just rolled that. And 1 scroll. Will-O-Wisp again. And 1 of warding. Two generalist petty magic spells. And this is amongst just a random, just madcap array of... You find cookbooks. You find you find manuals for farming. You find a few almanacs for weather, but like 6 years out of date. You find several treatises on the benefits of a noble class that obviously somebody shouldn't be printing these. Maps. Several maps of Aberdown, but amongst them you find some scraps. You find a loose folio, and in that folio you find scrolls of warding and Will-O-Wisp.
Well, depending on how much they cost, I may or may not be able to afford these.
Did you find something good?
And useful.
And you are getting what?
Let's see. So it depends on how much the scrolls are, right? Right now I can afford the Brigandine armor and be okay with the encumbrance, but I can downgrade to the leather, and so I can make sure that she can get the spell scrolls, right? That's essentially what I'm looking to get.
Brigandine is 33. What about, is he getting anything, or is he just going to stick with his leather?
Yeah, no, he's just sticking with what he's got. He's just gonna hold on to it until more comes
I'm
around.
sorry. Also, by the way, a brigandine You could get leather.
Yeah.
A brigandine is a little bit clunkier and is a lot bigger.
Oh, the qualities, it didn't say it had a... It didn't give it the heavy quality?
I know it doesn't give it the heavy quality. I'm letting you know what a brigandine is. You can't just... a brigandine is a full piece of chest armor with plates riveted into the fabric that covers your whole torso. It's not just a couple of pieces you can slide in. I can give you the equivalent of leather using the same technique.
Okay.
But if you are going to wear a brigandine, you're gonna look like you're wearing armor all the time. Leather you can get away with looking normal with what you're currently wearing.
Okay. Alright, so the leather is the 20 gold, so we know we're getting that. Which fours? So we're at 44. How much is Will-O-Wisp?
They're both 5 gold apiece.
What? Get both.
There's a limit to how many things that you can learn. I haven't
That's
hit that
defeatist
limit,
talk.
but
You're very intelligent.
I understand that I'm intelligent.
You deflected things with your...
By the way,
Awesome.
I think that was accidental.
you can cast from the scroll.
Because warding is
I have no idea what it
basically
does.
like a bell chime where I can see if something's been disturbed. It's basically the alarm spell
Ah, okay.
from D&D.
Yeah.
Will-O-Wisp is essentially dancing lights, does not have the danger quality that candlelight does, so it's just
You can
useful
just
in
really
dark
have it.
areas.
Yes. That's why I said go shopping.
So
before
as
the
I said,
game.
you can cast spells from scrolls. Hold on.
Because I was looking at possibly another pistol, but pistols are a pain in the fucking ass.
If you got more pistols, it would make for your ability to use them more.
So, but unlike Reaper, I still have to pick mine up when I'm done.
Yeah, but okay, stop acting though that like this is a setting where pistols are not extremely valuable and extremely useful. You just have to carry them in a brace.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to buy a pistol, you might have one.
What are you looking at?
If there's extra armor to go, extra
wish you
gold
picked this
to
beforehand.
go van. No, I know what, but I know the thing I would buy. It only costs 3 gold. It would be a metal shield.
Yes. 3, so we are now at 41. So, shield.
Yeah, I think it's
Shield.
gonna like just like sort of like pick something off of like
There's a,
one of the sides of the walls.
there's a metal round shield that's kind of hiding behind one of the racks that you're able to pull out.
It's kind of like looking over his own shield. It's kind of been like scraped.
take
It's
that.
worn.
Whatever he's holding, he wants it. Put it on the tab.
I wasn't sure if we were all sharing that gold versus like our own personal gold, because otherwise it would have taken a lot longer to afford this kind of equipment.
Take the shield. If anything, you are now the bodyguard of Lady Anya, who is
At
my
least
friend.
until the end of this week, until either I live or die, and then I pay you.
Well, there's
So-
that too.
This will help make sure you don't die.
Then you'll get paid.
Cool.
That means you can actually use your
Also,
paycheck.
just for my own sake, don't die. But I will also try to make sure you don't die.
Well, good news is you'll
Because
only
if I
shield
die,
whether
you
they die
can't
or
get
not.
paid. I'm gonna hold up
I mean-
the scrolls. I'll take both of them and figure out which one.
Does what?
9. Give me one moment, and I'm just going to find the last thing that I need.
So we should have.
So then I couldn't get, because I only have 4 personal gold. I can't get the dueling pistol, but I could pick up another flintlock pistol at 20 gold, and we would have 9 gold remaining.
Oh geez, we just spent a lot of gold.
We did.
You kind of needed to, though. This is also upgrading your characters. Don't be shy. Do not turn into the party that ends up with a minor hoard of gold very quickly because you
Yeah.
refuse to spend it because the rainy day may always happen.
Yeah, the only way I would be able to, yeah, I can't afford the fancier dueling pistol, but that's fine. That gets me another pistol to have on me. That leaves us with 9 gold. Is there anything for 9 gold anybody needs here?
I still need to buy things for Rubedo elsewhere.
By the way, you know the Rubedo basically costs 6 shillings per dose per.
So to make 30 doses times 7 for a month.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 9 gold I'm going
No,
to...
30 doses times 7 is 210 shillings.
How are you doing mental math?
So that'd be about 20 gold.
I don't have 20 gold on me. So
Well, there's the 9 gold, plus I have 4 personally on me.
I got 2 personally on me.
What do you got?
You have your winnings.
I have to save 5 to be able to pay him after I survive.
So what do you
I
have?
have
Glad you're thinking about that.
if I survive, I want to have enough money to give you the promised money. I have 6.
Alright, so we have 21 gold between all of us right now.
And it costs...
Unless we could also, bring you down to the gambling towns.
No.
And we can 100%.
No.
Liliana, sometimes you do things that
No.
are distasteful when you need money. You may be unfamiliar with this concept, but a lot of us have to do it. So,
I make less Rubedo then.
I'm not going to tell you to do something you don't want to do, but I'm just saying
You can
if
get
you
it in a
need
2-week
money,
portion.
Doing it in the 1 month would work better,
That
depending
you-
on the
Yeah,
time frame that we're going to be.
not necessarily. You'll have
Okay.
opportunities. It's not 100%. If you want to get less, you can get less. It's not like you have to buy it in 1 month chunks.
you could also possibly introduce me to some of your well-to-do friends, and I promise I will give you enough.
I don't
so that you
really
could
make
purchase.
friends.
Oh God. I suppose you wouldn't be hanging out with us if that
you
was
have
true.
some friends in school. You're not a
Not people that I would.
What, feed the stable?
Yeah.
Fine. Have no money. Have your pride, no money. I'll tell you, it doesn't go very far.
I mean, I'm still here.
So, that was it. We have 9 remaining gold. Do you want to put the 9 into your total since you're kind of going to be needing it next?
Because I need to buy the stuff for
Yep.
Rubedo.
So
We can just we could just leave it there for now. We have 9 total.
Well, we should at least write it on another sheet because this is in my notes amongst various things.
Is that
can
9
put on your
total
sheet.
being all of our combined? Okay.
No,
okay,
no. This is
separate,
9
separate.
from
okay.
the
So 9 group gold.
yeah. Group gold.
It's going under injuries.
That or we could always put it on the doctor's sheet. He is our communal character.
Well, he's got to pay his own bills.
He's gotta pay his own. He's an adult. He's got his things to do. Yeah, I know. Okay.
So what's the total you have arranged out? So the metal shield, the leather armor,
Flintlock pistol,
flintlock pistol,
2 spell scrolls.
2 spell scrolls, and
That's it.
okay. What does that all add up to? Quick.
We now have. We now have 9 remaining gold. I did not do the.
What does it add? Just tell me what it adds up to. Don't tell me how much.
Now I have to do different math, honey.
It's
Well, it
easy
was
to find
20
out.
for your pistol. 10 for the scrolls, that's 30, plus 3 for
It's
the
easier
shield,
to
which
find
is
out.
33, plus an additional 20 for the armor, that's 53.
What's the total that you say you have 9 left of?
64.
64 minus 9. And that'll give you how much?
53.
Okay.
So you have, it's 53. There you go.
Okay.
I'll give it to you for 50 because you're giving me. So that means. He pulls out a small bag, counts out 19 gold pieces into the bag, ties it up, puts it on the counter. What you have plus that bag. Deal?
What we have plus what bag?
The bag of 19 gold he just put onto the
Oh.
table.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
and what you've picked out.
Works for me.
Deal. He spits into his hand. Shakes. Good. Take your things, and I'll get back to manning the shop.
Hard work, it always. Yep.
So, mark down what you've taken, and you head back out.
Do we automatically update our stats with things that we have, or do we have to
No,
wait
I have
for
to take the time to.
She has to take time to learn a spell. You just add the trappings.
Okay.
Yeah, I just have the better shield now.
Okay.
When you put on the armor, just adjust your damage threshold.
Yeah.
So increase each damage threshold number by 2.
So, alright.
Because you didn't have any armor before, right?
Nope.
Oh, right.
So leather is 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just add 2 to every level. All right. You have a little bit left of your day. You know, Anya could spend, if she got her apothecary stuff and then immediately went to a quiet place to study, she can learn Will-O-Wisp by the next day. And still have slept.
Do I have an apartment nearby?
I also need to.
You're near Westgate. That means the Primrose Pillow is still available.
So we can go back and, in truth, freshen up, because we look abysmal. And you have reading to do.
I need to make one more stop.
Okay.
I want to get the stuff for the Rubedo.
Okay, just figure out the math for how much you want. Like I said, it's 6 shillings, 6 silver.
I'm afraid I don't know anyone
Oh,
personally
I thought it
that
was
will...
7.
Oh, you said
I said 210 for 30.
I thought I told you. No. I had said 6. There's 7 days in a week, though. How many spells can you memorize?
I can memorize both of these.
How many can
until
you cast per day?
7.
That's why you had 7. It is 6. It was 6 silver shillings.
6 per dose times 7, so 6 times.
That's 1 day.
That's 42 times 30.
Do you have a calculator over here? I don't. It's at my Stellar Age station.
Boop. I got it.
42 times 30, please.
1,260.
Okay. Shillings. So that's 126 gold per month.
Oh, that's a lot.
It's good you're rich.
That's a lot.
But remember, you have that channel option now. So there's a. Also, this Rubedo gets used in. Okay, let you know in the book.
It's 3 copper per Rubedo, or the reagents for a lesser.
Yes, mine are universal. So the same Rubedo gets used for greater magic as well. So that's why I have it literally in the middle. So normally it's like 3 brass, or 3 copper for a petty magic. It's 6 silver for a lesser magic. It's 9 gold for greater magic. If I was to do it cost per spell type, because the Rubedo I have decided is the universal reagent that gets used across all spells. Yes, it is. It's cost prohibitive, it seems, at the beginning, but you can channel to bring that power in to cast a spell that has consumable.
Yeah, and the channeling does not help you though with the 10%. So I'm gonna say we're not going to get the things for Rubedo for a while.
Are you sure we could still hit another shop?
I think you still have another week at least.
Give me some time. I'm telling you, introduce me to a few people in your circle, and you'll never have to worry about if you could afford the Rubedo again.
Think about how much gold you got already from one trip into a nice place. Well, not nice place, but Rathmar.
I'm like, I don't know if I have to find that.
You also got gold from Cyrus. You have income. It's going to be happening.
You could ask your mom.
Don't be despondent.
Mom?
No.
Mom?
I don't do that in real life.
She won't
I'm
miss
not gonna
that
do in
painting.
game.
Oh. Do
You steal from my mother. I'm going to die.
Do you think she counts every pearl on the string?
Oh my god! Yes! She is that type. 100%.
Just gotta
So
beg your mother.
Please don't.
Heading back to the Primrose Pillow, then?
yeah, kind of want to talk, but now knowing Cyrus's tone, I don't know if I want to talk in a place that isn't private anymore, or I don't want to say anything I might regret out loud in a not private place.
Well, we'll go back to the apartment. In truth, I need to do some stitching and rest a little bit. I'm not used to this level of physical attraction. So we'll talk once we get back. Provided you don't just shut yourself away in the corner again.
As long as nobody's undressing. That wasn't because of how I felt. It was for Anya's.
I have to make alterations, so you're gonna have to go back in the corner if that's really the way you feel.
It's not the way I feel. I was trying to. It was for Anya.
Oh my god, the cricket. Okay, so there is actually a cricket in our basement, so that was beautiful.
I wish the microphones had been able to pick that up.
Yeah.
Because I totally heard it. I don't think it's in our basement. I think it's like literally
Outside
against
Outside the window, yeah.
It's a little like.
Yeah. There's a window right there.
Yeah.
Behind that wall. So
Yeah.
within the walls.
I hate that. Thank you.
Okay.
Alright.
You head back to the apartment then?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Sitting, returning to the entertainments area of Westgate, you find your way to the small but well appropriated apartment of Mistress Sable. Inside you have everything is as you left it. And it's about midday. Sable knows that she could always get food from the kitchens at the Primrose Pillow for a small fee, but it's usually part of the rent that you pay at the end of every month. If you go excessive with it, they may charge you more, but you know that you could get bread, cheese, and wine, the three of you, simply for the rest of the evening, so that you could have a sitting, casual conversation. Anya can study while having light conversation.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask.
You don't have to remove yourself from a conversation because I'm studying, keep it down.
Nerd!
You don't have to be like that.
Ugh, you and I are still mighty
So-
fucked.
What?
Aren't we? Are you moderately wounded?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
same.
still lightly wounded.
I'm moderately wounded, and the peril's not great.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I still need to make things in our alchemy stuff.
Well, you're not injured. And you can go get bandaged before you head out. You can say that you can go see the doctor before you head out the next day. But resting in a place that you find restful will get rid of your peril.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll deal with all these tomorrow then.
It's like a,
You could
Wash
always
up.
take,
yeah.
and then there's also laudanum you could take.
Let's have our conversation before we have laudanum. Conversations with laudanum.
I feel great. How do you feel?
I think everything's gonna be fine. We're overthinking things.
I won't be able to make it for tomorrow
I
because I'm
get
learning, but
headaches.
Make it to.
Oh, Cyrus's ever so special, peculiar meeting.
yeah, I won't be able to make the laudanum and tinctures before then.
Oh, that explains that.
That's
Ow.
that's fine.
So please be careful with what we have, just so that
We'll have to, we'll certainly have to see if the good doctor can patch us up before we go. We'll just exit in a way that's more streamable. Oh, hi. Hi.
We gotta talk louder with projection.
the microphone wasn't even pointing at. It was too far back compared to the other mic.
Whoopsie.
It's all right.
Whoopsie.
I did a rush today. Sorry. And we are still going to this meeting, right?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like it'll be worse if we don't go. Because of how much trouble it's been for us to even get other people to go.
I mean, it's peculiar that it seems like the messages that we delivered were definitely intended for people not to want to go, which is what we were being paid to make sure. It almost felt like a Sisyphean task. Sisyphus probably doesn't exist in this world. I said Sisyphean task, and I'm like, oh, that.
The terminology.
I thank you. I was like, this doesn't exist.
Aurelia exists, so maybe there was a
Thank
Sisyphus
you.
in ancient Aurelia.
Thank you. Good save.
I mean,
There's definitely a Ferris. Ferris victory. A Ferric victory.
I mean, just the more I get to know Cyrus, the less I want to work for him, to be honest. I've kind of done dealing with shitty people who are telling me what I need to do for my job. And yes, I was happy to be hired by him in the beginning, but like other professions, it just turned sour.
I mean, there's something to be said. He clearly manages a level of power over this place that it's good to be friends with someone like that. And we see what happens when it's no longer of use to him. So maybe we just need to prove we're still useful, and that would put us back in favor. So that we do not end up like Lady Vetlin, who was no longer useful. Which, God, the thought that he no longer needs someone within Parliament makes me wonder who else he has in his pocket now.
There was something wrong with both of them.
Yes.
No, in a magical sense.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't mean to judge them morally, but what do you mean?
They seemed to be lit from within by a fire that only I could see. It was a mix of different spheres that normally don't go together.
So, something to do with that odd plate thing?
Well, it's similar. I was able to figure out when I was being choked by him.
Kept you in place, you had time to think.
I could hear the ticking.
So they had some sort of ticking device attached to them?
Only the cadaver did. The other ones I couldn't hear any ticking, but if the center of the ethereal like magic were on the chest, I figured that was the only possible way of getting rid of them.
Well,
But
when Vetlin was poisoned, we saw her waste away, and we know she was supposed to die 2 years prior. We unfortunately weren't able to see Delia with the fire and the... we couldn't see what happened to her when she died. Maybe it's similar. Are they holding them in some kind of witchcraft that animates them? Should she have also been dead?
I've never seen anything like it. I have no idea.
I don't suppose asking about, like, teacher, how do I raise the dead is an appropriate question for a student.
That might get me arrested again.
I mean, it's kind of, but when
I don't think you've ever been arrested. I think you've been firmly talked to
Yeah, you're
by
supposed to be
by your
arrested.
tutors.
Yeah, but they would threaten me to get me arrested.
She doesn't know any better. She doesn't know that they won't do it.
No,
I mean,
I don't know.
it sounded like that the person who would know the most was Klaus, and that was before Cyrus took his research and did whatever he did to it.
It seems like he's also perverting the intent of what he originally created. I don't know if Klaus has any design about what Cyrus is doing now. Yes, he probably would have the best base understanding. And we do have those vials still on you. What the hell is this? She's
thought-
like,
reading.
while she's stripping, actually, at this
I
point,
thought-
because she was pulling the dress apart and
I
stuff
thought
like
Delia
that.
was
and
just
like,
bluffing about the whole vials thing.
I don't know, I just stole it anyway.
Can I look at it while I'm doing my
It
reading?
looks, just glancing at it quickly, offhand, it looks like Quicksilver.
It looks like Quicksilver. It doesn't, even though it was glowing.
It's some kind of mercurial substance.
Can you use it?
When I say mercurial, I mean literally mercury.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quicksilver does. That's how I create it. Thank you.
Oh, you're looking what Quicksilver is used to recover. That is, I found the how do you make it section again. God
Yes.
damn it.
Yeah, you both were there.
I was staring at it because I still had the my bookmark in there. That's alcohol intoxication.
I mean,
Falling onto hard surfaces.
which happens directly after alcohol intoxication.
Quicksilver is used to overcome madnesses, I believe. It's used to ignore afflictions of the mind.
Okay.
Hey, something we don't currently have to deal with. Hey, currently.
Yeah.
It looks like Quicksilver. I don't know exactly what it was being used for. It's normally meant to treat madness.
I'm double checking that. We might have to retcon that moment.
Okay.
Just letting you know.
Well, I'm gonna put it on the shelf here, and she just like clears off a little area of, puts it up on there.
I probably won't get to it today, but eventually I'll be able to take a look and see if it actually is.
Okay.
Still seems strange that the letter we delivered to Delia said that Cyrus wanted Delia to give us these vials,
Maybe she was saying he was insane.
or
it was a lie.
well,
We only know what was written on part of the letter that we gave to Betlin, because I was able to spy out a little bit of it before it disappeared. On that letter, at least we know that she got sour tidings, so why would he be having us deliver a letter that says, well, you're of no use, fuck off, yeah? And then have her die abruptly then after, mysteriously, coincidentally, as we're in the room with her. There's no way we were going to be able to bring her back to make sure she goes to this meeting. And while we're sitting here pondering the weirdness that is our week, what the hell is he doing? How is this related to hearing the voice of the exalted with bodies rising up from dark rooms and people being poisoned? There's part of me that still wants to go to the meeting, and I want to know, just because, hell, what did I do to piss him off that gets us wrapped up in all this? But then there's also the logical part of me that says, self-preservation, Sable, run and make a new name, again. This is going to get more dangerous. She says as she's fucking stitching in these plates of metal into the lining of her bodice from her place sitting on like little flat pillow area. She's sitting there in like bloomers and like a small little camisole and deftly sewing. Any part that you're not really going to see, she gets lazy. And she doesn't care. But if there's any part of the stitching that's going to be on the outside, she's actually quite talented and is
I found it.
cleanly.
An ampule of Quicksilver will allows you to ignore any disorder for 24 hours, but you immediately suffer a conflict. But I said at quick glance.
Yeah.
It just looks mercurial. It looks like Quicksilver.
That's why I said that if I get more chances, more time later, I can look at it.
Yeah, as you hold it, you can see that it is a vial of almost liquid-like silver.
The only thing that we're going to be able to do right now is, I guess, just go to the meeting tomorrow. I want to know what the hell is going on. I want to know why she was told to kill us afterwards, if that's what she was told, but Cyrus was there afterwards. And it seemed like he wasn't surprised.
There is part of me that wonders if Cyrus was at the first meeting when we were so wrapped up in the gambling and we hadn't noticed. 2 of the 3 times, maybe. I just hadn't seen it. I admit this is a little outside of what I'm normally looking for, so maybe I made some oversights. But we're going to be learning a lot, so maybe we should get some rest.
I'm in the process of practicing the spell at this point, so there's just sputters of green light that I'm trying to pull out from the ground, and it's just like, fuck.
Occasionally they look like spouts of green flame, but they have no heat. But it's still something that makes you go, huh?
This isn't volatile. I didn't actually look at what we bought you. I just, books seemed educational and you were really excited and you made a happy face. I don't...
It's a new spell. It's used. This one is used to light the darkness, so it's like
Fire? More fire?
it's not
After
actually
today?
No,
Oh,
it's not fire.
Oh.
It's not gonna catch me on
Wait.
fire. It's
Okay.
see,
so he's
see,
gonna
look,
like try to put
it's
his
like-
hand towards it as like he's realizing that light with no heat was what the apothecary had in her basement. It's like, oh,
So, are you burnt?
no.
Would you smack his
Are you burned? No.
Why would you smell
Beautiful.
like chicken?
Beautiful. That's perfect. That is
Oh.
100% seed.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Thank you.
I'm
Sniff his hand to see
Gonna-
if he's burned.
gonna look this way whenever you change, but I'm not gonna just stand in the corner this time, okay?
As long as you don't look.
Yeah, I'm not going to look.
As the night dwindles away, as Anya finishes learning the intricacies of Will-O-Wisp, and you find that you're able to find some rest in your day. Are you taking laudanum, by the way, to heal a
We don't have
wound
it
level?
made.
What?
We don't have it made.
We only have
But you had
we
laudanum.
had one. We had one.
We
dose
have one
left.
dose.
Oh.
Okay, so you can take a dose if you want. One of you can take a dose. If you wish.
I mean, if we're going to the doctor, isn't that going to heal up?
I think it just moves you up the tracker once with bandages. I don't know. I can't do it, so I don't have that.
That's fair. I'm not a doctor.
Would you prefer Sig will be fine being lightly wounded? Because at least even when we get to that lightly wounded, we get our skill points back. For
Okay.
things. So
All right.
you can take the laudanum if you want it.
I'll rack up some corruption or some conflict rather.
You didn't roll yours from last time, either.
Nope, I didn't. So I didn't get to roll my conflict from last episode.
Yeah, roll your conflict.
So
Each
remind
of
me
you
again what
gains
I'm
a
doing.
rank who didn't have conflict last
Woo.
episode.
So we should be at
Gain a belief rank.
9 belief if we don't have any conflict, since this is episode 10.
Yes.
Should be up much higher.
Well, no, you probably took deceit sometimes, right? So
Well, yeah, once, but
yeah. So what am I rolling again? Refresh me.
You roll a d10.
It's a 5.
Is that over?
It's
or
over the conflict number.
Then you erase your conflict rank
Okay.
and you gain a point in belief. Unless you have specifically gained a rank in flaw, you should all have 9.
I have a singular thing in flaw.
I also have a singular thing in flaw.
So both of you should have 8 and 1, and the purest flower, Lily of the Valley, has 9.
It's only because the first time I killed someone, I had rolled well on my...
Okay, and now with laudanum, I believe that gives conflict as well, correct?
Yes. 1, I believe. You just gained 1.
Oh, that's not bad.
And then we'll roll for it at the end.
Yes. Okay. That just puts me at lightly.
I'm still moderate.
Use laudanum. Let's see here. You suffer 1 corruption.
Basically, I'm going to try to make either 3 laudanum and 3 tinctures, or 6 laudanum with what I have for the opium pods I bought.
Okay, yeah.
Because I bought the salts for smelling salts, and then the opium pods for tinctures and laudanum. Because I can make those. Those don't require heal tests. Everything else,
Taking
like
drugs
bandages,
anybody can do.
bandages require heal tests, so I can't do that.
I won't band-aid stick.
So as the laudanum haze helps Sable relax, the 3 of you rest, and you are able to have an evening with less stress. The wine helps too. Having a small meal, dried meat, basically a simple dried meat, sausages, kind of like summer sausage and cheese plate with bread from
bread.
the Primrose Pillows Kitchens for dinner.
No.
What?
I just realized I was at Lady Vetlin's place, and then my mother probably heard about that, and then... Oh.
Let's just assume that your mother has someone who trails you at all hours of the day and they're waiting outside, but they're hungry because they don't have bread and cheese like we do.
And with that, we are going to take our break. Hi everyone in chat.
Bread and cheese.
Hello, hello.
Breads and cheeses.
I love bread and
so we're
cheese.
taking a 5-10 minute break. We are going to be doing all right, let me go use the restroom quickly,
Yeah.
and then we will get started again. You know what? If you wish to get started, the morning. So we're gonna get back into this. The morning dawns. You can hear the bustle of people on the street. The brothel just wrapped things up about 2 hours ago.
This is why you sleep during the morning.
And you find yourself picking at the leftovers of the bread, cheese, and fruit, and dried meats, summer sausages from the night before, as your breakfast. Splashing some of the water on your face from the indoor pump that you happen to have in this room. It's a very nice room if it has an indoor water pump that draws from a well. And you are going about preparing for your next day. So, as the three of you wake, find yourselves up in the morning. I will be right back.
Did Seek sleep in the corner again?
No, he didn't sleep in the corner. I mean,
like
because there was only one bed in the room, right?
Yes.
Which obviously you two
But
shared.
it is also quite large, yes.
I mean, was there like a side sitting couch or anything? Going to because also he's a little bit shorter, so it's a little bit easier for him to fit on or anything.
There may not be a full-on couch. There's probably a chair, but loads of pillows, so you could probably hamster it up.
Yeah, he was probably in some sort of hamster-like position, but in the morning he's probably just getting a feel for the weight adjustment of a metal shield. So he's probably just doing a bit of parry training, off to the side, not making sure not to hit any table sides or anything like that. So he's probably just getting that ready as he has already kind of gotten himself up a little bit early.
Lady Anna, do you need help with your dress or your hair?
If you don't mind, the dress, please. It blinked twice. Sorry. I couldn't not.
I don't blame you. That's fine.
I'm really nervous about today.
I don't blame you. In truth, I think, like we mentioned before, we need to look out for ourselves, and I don't think this is necessarily a place that's going to keep our safety in mind. But also knowing what's going on is probably good, because if he's meaning to orchestrate something of a larger scale that's going to disrupt the politics within the church, it's going to end up affecting everybody anyway. So maybe knowing about it before it ripples out would be good for us all. If we live through it, yes.
We don't know what's gonna happen. There's already one death threat against me. There.
I mean, if you...
The last two people we tried to get to go ended up dying, and I'm honestly terrified about what the revelation that he's had is at this point. I don't think I'm excited as much as I used to be.
I don't know if I've even thought much about what he's working on in the way that my fear isn't so much that, because I don't really understand the world the way you do. You see fire in people's hearts you see ghosts on the side of the road, so I could understand that fear in some sense, but I don't think of it that way. But I do have my own interactions where men who have dreams are very dangerous if you are against those. So if we could find a way to be useful and kept around and in good graces of someone who has that much sway, I would prefer it for survival's sake.
Would you do it so much so if it went against your own beliefs?
What do you mean beliefs?
Like, well, if it were to go against something that you deeply disagreed upon, or something where your ancestors would look down upon you with shame if you were to just go forth with something
I
that you were
abandoned
just...
my family's sake for my survival. You all wrote letters to home to make sure they were okay, and I had no one to write to because I left them to their own downfall. Because if I'd stayed there, only the worst ending was for me if I stayed with my family. Sometimes for you to thrive and survive, you have to put down somebody else and make decisions that keep you up at night. I hope you don't have to make those on you, but I have a feeling you already have.
Based on what I know of our first only encounter with your parents, I think in your case, I think it's okay to kind of just follow your own path. There's nothing wrong with choosing one's own path, but at least
My path has always been set before me and paved and lined by my parents' intentions.
I could understand.
Which is why I started doing what I did and getting a little rebellious. You can tell they're no longer surprised. I do worry them, and I feel bad about worrying them, but who knows? Maybe what we find out today will change everything, and everyone will be happy about it. But honestly, I don't think so.
I was worried for you in a moment. Yeah, I don't know if I necessarily have a feeling of optimism after the events of our past weeks, month. Yeah.
About 3 weeks now. It's been about 3 weeks.
After finalizing your look for the day, after getting ready,
Wardrobe slot. Click.
you know you have about an hour before you should get on the road if you're going to make it to the city of...
Was the doctor invited to the meeting as well? I feel like he was when we were in the tavern. Or I don't know if it was just teasing him at that moment.
Hmm?
Was the good doctor invited to Cyrus's big ol' meeting as
I
well?
have no idea.
Okay. I thought during the tavern thing. I don't remember the full interaction. I can't trust my memory.
He said he planned on having something big to show off soon.
Okay.
He never actually made an invite.
Okay.
You were invited just then as you got out of the apothecaries.
So we are still lightly wounded.
Yes, it is the Holdfast of Petrifor. Is the name of the... It's within the dukedom of Matraset, but the name of the town/castle is Petrifor.
I thought you said Petrichor. I'm like, great.
Petrefort. Petrifor.
It was one letter off.
What'd you forget? Or what'd you miss?
I put Petrofort.
Ah.
So I had the O in the center instead of the E.
If I had said it as Petrifor,
Yeah.
you would have written it
I
down.
would have gotten it.
Sable now has her nice heavy gloves with the extra buttons Also, I ripped holes in my old pair for the costumes, so that was good timing.
By the way, the crest of the city for Petrifor is a rook, so battlement, similar to the chess piece, with 2 trees on either side, branches crossing above it.
Petrifor is the city.
It's called a holding or a holdfast. It's like a lord's manor within a dukedom.
Yeah.
Okay. And the dukedom is
Matraset, which is the royal dukedom, which means the king's full title is actually.
Oh God. Do it.
No,
Do it.
I'm not gonna fucking go into the whole fucking thing.
Oh, okay. We'll have you do your full herald spiel one day.
So King of Brithengall is technically also the Duke of Matraset at the same time.
Okay.
It is not petrichor, mint, and rot.
Oh, I don't know. Rot does seem in place here.
So are we hiring someone to take us there?
Oh, the doctor's in walking distance. Unless we're close for time.
Well, we have about an hour. We could possibly get treated somewhat before we go if we expect this to be a fight.
Well, I don't... Whether I planned on battling it out with someone or not today, I would prefer to at least have these looked into. God forbid they fester.
Or
Okay.
Oh, you have such fair skin. That will scar.
I know, but I have a bunch of scars.
I'm sure your mother counts them and takes away a gold for each one.
I don't understand their... Is that what they do? I don't... Do rich people do that? Like, I'm so confused.
No, it's primarily decreases
Usually-
my value as a wife.
Usually, scars are like, badges of bravery and honor.
Not when you're someone that's supposed to marry off.
Women don't need to be brave and honorable in battle.
But they could be.
They can be, yes.
But not me.
If anything, it proves that you've actually been struck, and I think that embarrasses your mother more than anything.
Good call.
I guess we're...
Going to see the doctor.
Yes.
Yes.
Before we leave.
Yes.
As you make your way to his offices in Westgate, you can see that the doctor is just letting you see a woman carrying a child, thanking him, and make perception test.
I was about to be like, is he being kind with her?
Nah.
And okay, so we're back to unhindered on the peril track. So, ooh, that's a success.
Okay, fail.
That is 5.
Sieg sees. You all see him like push away as she tries to put money into his hand. Sieg actually catches him with his other hand as he's pushing the money away. While she's not paying attention, he actually slides 2 gold pieces into the bundle. As he gives the kid a little, rub on the head.
Oh.
Your Sundari doctor is so good.
And you catch the faintest, slightest curl of a smile at the corner of his face as he sends them off and looks down the stairs and sees you 3.
Oh no!
And his face resumes its look of absolute disdain for your being. Ow. Well, make this quick as he turns and walks back into his offices.
We're just here for bandages today. Nothing more serious, thankfully.
Thankfully, he looks both of you over. Nothing too serious, I hope.
No, just doing a bit of traveling that we wanted to, get patched up a little bit before heading out. We're going to,
I'm not listening as he goes over to Sable and starts checking her ear. I need to put fresh bandages on this. And he goes over to his little tray. It starts running. You can see him passing bandages back and forth through
I love her cat.
kind of an iodine, a sort of an iodine alcohol solution that he runs the bandage back and forth over. He walks over and starts applying it to Sable. Oh, I wasn't telling you had to stop. I was just letting you know I don't care.
Have you ever seen a body come back to life and attack somebody?
There's a moment of pause. He turns to look. This is. Oh, you've been listening to the stories of our little organization again, haven't you?
It happened to us. It's how we got these.
The minor miracles of the resurrectionists are a curiosity. I have seen a cadaver open its eyes, moan before. Never seen one quite so ambulatory as you describe, and certainly not as strong and vigorous enough to attack anyone. Although they did have it tied down at the time. I needed to see it more before I would be able to decide if it was a regular, performable process or if it was just a one-time phenomenon or some table-knocking presentation.
I pull out one of the vials
Oh, I was
with the
thinking about that.
quicksilver stuff.
Oh.
Well, they had this.
Oh, I was wondering
The
if
body?
plate.
I'm sorry?
You said they had this, and he responds with, "Oh, the body."
No. Oh, called the apothecary, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my brain is not rolled right now. The apothecary that was with them,
Delia Kern.
Delia Kern?
Oh.
Not a fan.
We've had some rigorous debate in the past.
Well, she's dead now.
We think I might have pushed her into the alchemy set
To be fair,
when she was attacking us.
we did have to kill something twice for it to take, so she could have maybe still been alive.
He looks to the three of you. If I wasn't being extorted for any of this, I would have you all arrested and sent to Bedlam. But yes, he takes the vial, pops it open, gives it a quick sniff, rolls it around, puts it back on, hands it across to you again. On custody inspection, it seems as though you have an ampule of quicksilver there.
Did the body that you'd seen move, did it also have it had like a clockwork, right? Like a mechanisms.
Fueled by magic, as far as I could tell, in the chest.
That is not my realm. As I told you, the only thing that I have ever contributed to our little organization within the church has been what was taken from me. So no. Make a heal test for one of you. Who wants the heal test? Ow.
Probably you right now. Moderate.
Yeah, alright, moderate.
Who
Oh yeah, so I roll for him.
is being bound and what
Thinking.
are what level are you at? Who is being bound and what level are you at?
I'm at moderately wounded.
Okay.
And
So that is a heal test. Oh, actually you roll it. You have his stats.
yeah.
It's a heal test with the 10%. It is a routine test since you are moderately wounded.
Okay.
So 75 with the 65 from the yeah, he has the heal skill, so it's 65 with the intelligence.
And then, because it's routine, okay. That's 19, so success.
Very good. I believe he has something that lets you move up 2.
Ooh.
Does he now?
Read his traits.
Whenever successfully performing bind wounds to heal damage, the patient moves 1 additional step up the damage condition track positively.
So he bound wounds. So you move
well,
up.
Also, in addition, always succeed at heal test to prepare bandages. Oh, prepare bandages.
Prepare
not use
bandages.
Not using
Okay,
them.
so cool. That puts me all the way up to unharmed.
And what is...
Lightly.
That's automatically succeeds.
Oh. Cool.
So
Oh, well then, me too.
both of you are automatically
Yay.
touched up.
Hey, nice.
Alright.
He looks you over. You don't seem to be too grievously wounded.
Apparently, I did something that made me bulletproof. But only when I was almost accidentally shot with an arrow.
I assume it has something to do with your studies into the art of kenning.
A bit, yeah.
Then I'll leave it at that. Again, not my field of study.
I mean, I have a metal shield now, so should be better for future projectiles. Hopefully, ones that don't come from ourselves.
Since we're also playing show and tell to you, Papa, I had beautiful tea this morning. It tasted extra good. I steeped it an additional 2 minutes.
I'm proud of all of you.
She casts like a knowing, like almost
Is
exasperated look, but smiles.
is there anything else that you 3 need?
To know how late hours you keep? We are going to deal with Cyrus later today, and I imagine knowing how late we could come back if we need your help would be delightful.
I had been invited to a gathering tonight, but I had not decided whether I was going to go or not. I don't want to be there and give that bastard any self-satisfaction.
But if it goes wrong, you could laugh.
I will be in the holdfast of Petrifor.
Well then, why don't we
I
just...
have a friend in the area. I will go and visit and spend time with them. I will not be traveling with you. Please leave. And if you need me, seek out Ezra in Petrifor. They own a tavern there. I frequented it in years past. Only if you need me, and only if it would in some way inconvenience Cyrus.
I have a feeling us living would make him quite cross. So you do the Exalted's work for him.
Don't bother your ear any further. All of you are bandaged sufficiently. My job is done. I wish to prepare myself for my day of travel. And as always, I hope to never see you again. And he gestures to the door. No deep bow, no flourish, just
I love him so much. Thank you for your help. Hopefully we won't have to see you.
Thank you, class.
I just walk out.
Hope to not see you soon. Walks out the door.
likewise.
So we have to find a carriage.
Yes.
Three of you head down the carriage station where a certain regular driver that you know,
Oh, Friar.
where Friar tends to frequent, is nearby. so you can take a short walk and find him easily.
Okay.
You did pay him for plenty enough.
I don't know if it was enough to cover a
Well, I thought.
petrichor.
I mean, we said the
Petrichor.
week. I don't know.
How far it is.
You know, just rehire him too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You wouldn't turn down a job.
At least we're already familiar with this one, so.
In truth, and she's like adjusting her top. I'm not used to all this metal. I'm walking around in it so far is quite uncomfortable, so I really would prefer not to ride the entire way. Like on a horse.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not good at that.
Really?
Yeah,
You're a noble. Did they not have you hunt?
I fell way too often.
Oh. Oh. Yes, I suppose that
So
would.
they always stuck me to the side and were like, you can watch from here.
Culturally, the only person that would have no real experience with horses would be Sieg.
It's hard to block for other people when you're riding a horse.
But as a noble and a burgher, merchant class
I have good friends with good horses.
of the bourgeois, the two of you would have had some horse experience.
It's expensive to take care of a horse.
It really is.
Oh man. That's why I just like to borrow other people's
Like
horses.
having a car is cheaper than having a horse.
But do you have a friend? Can you be friends with your car?
Our
No.
car is not our friend.
No.
My
Never
car
is.
is mine.
Our car does not like us ever.
Don't speak ill of Calcifer.
Oh.
Hey. Fire.
And just shouting from the street.
Yeah, he's
towards
just
the-
shouting towards
As we're nearing.
the market of.
As you're yelling into the stable, where the carriages, you can see the unhitched carriages lined up out front. You do see Friars. It is recognizable because his hat is sitting on the bench. So as Sieg's just shouting, Friar, he walks out from one of the stables, literally holding a shovel of shit, and looks to you. He waves with the shovel of shit, walks over and throws it into a pile.
We've got a journey. We're in need of some travel.
That is if you're not already booked.
And he slams the shovel into the horse shit. He says, No, I wanted to shovel shit all day.
Okay.
Yes, where are you going?
Petrifort.
Oh, outside the city. Okay. That'll be an extra silver on top of that for the distance. But I'm fairly sure I could put my horse. How long? Just the night? Coming
That's
back?
what I assume.
It should be a short stay.
The road to Petrifor is actually pretty safe. Riding at night wouldn't be the worst. I still would prefer not to. But we can take one of the covered wagons.
Okay.
Hold on, let me just check with my boss. And he just looks over his shoulder. Hey boss, can I borrow the covered wagon? Oh, you heard that? Yeah, he said okay. Alright, let's go. And he walks over.
What the fuck?
Walks over to the stable, opens up, and he looks like he's in a bit of a hurry. As he is taking off his shit shoveling apron, throwing it to the side, running into the stable, opening up 2 stalls, pulling out a pair of horses, and just kind of like as he runs the horses who you know gallop along, happy to stretch their legs. Walks them over, and you can see him occasionally like looking towards the stable. It's like, Well, as he makes small talk, so what are you going to Petrifor for? As he's hooking them into the harnesses for the carriage.
Does it look like he's stealing this?
He looks nervous.
As someone who's stolen quite a few things. Just like looking at it peculiarly, it just...
As he's
Are you quite well for the journey? You seem sweaty.
turns around. No, I'm fine. As he puts another pin, as he puts one of the pins into the cross piece after he has the horses in their harnesses. Like, yeah, it's good to go. I just he changes his mind all the time. So let's head out before he changes his mind.
His boss is either very, very small and was on his shoulder, invisible, or he's a liar.
Or he's dead and he's speaking to the ghost.
Well,
I'm not... Oh god, no, please, Anya! No!
Yes, let's turn on which site that lets you see ghosts in the middle of a metropolitan area.
No, you know what? If you're stealing it, I don't care. We have a place to be.
I'm not stealing anything. This belongs to the company.
Do you work for this company?
My father owns it, so yes.
Okay.
So, hop on in, throw your luggage in, let's go. Let's go. And he literally is starting to roll the carriage.
Okay.
We get on and we go.
Getting on.
You know what, dude? I'm running from shit in life too. It's fine. You know, I'm not here to solve your dad problems. I got my own.
As you're hitting the road, you can hear shouting and looking out the window from the stable, running out with the shit shovel, screaming, and you can barely make out, "It's your turn!" and it's just
chores.
"You son of a bitch!" He's just screaming through the crowd.
I was not expecting Fire Lord.
Dad owns company.
My dad owns a dealership.
Oh no!
You discount?
Oh, beautiful.
And shortly, you are on the road to Petrifor. Now, a little bit about, since Anya knows of the place, it is known as Petrifor because the castle is built using foundations made from petrified forest wood.
Ooh.
So the posts, vertical posts, surround the castle of stone-like trees that masonry has been built around. Their roots growing into the ground. Almost as though a forest has been carved into the stone wall. But the actual origin of the castle is that it was constructed upon those.
It's fucking pretty. You know, I'm having a moment. I love petrified wood, so I'm just in here like...
The cathedral is nearby. Petrifor itself is a standing city. The cathedral had a town around it nearby. Petrifor took a financial hit when such a close town, the name of the town, Brightwater, known for its clear pools, and a very beautiful lake with that kind of water where you can see the bottom pretty deep out into the lake.
It's a brochure about swimming holes.
Not silty at all. Stone bottomed lake. And the cathedral sits on a high cliffside near said lake, overlooking it. The only way to approach it, the way the hillside is arranged, is by walking up from the direction of the martyr. No, it's the shepherd. That's right. Of the four.
Okay.
The shepherd is also known as the martyr. I'm fairly sure.
No, I think they're... Yeah, shepherd. It's Mara the shepherd. So it's martyrdom, leadership, and journeys.
Right. So this is to her aspect as a martyr. But the only way to approach it is from the direction of the shepherd, which I believe is from the south, if I remember correctly.
That I don't have written down. I'm bad.
Paladins to the north. I know that.
Yeah, the north's Lion's Gate, Shepherd's the southern gate.
Yep. There you go.
West Gate, and then Iron Gate. The Iron Gate is the
Smith.
The Smith. And yeah, so then the West Gate, to the west would be the Chirurgeon.
So yes, the only way to approach this cathedral is from the south.
Mm-hmm.
It is a beautiful, picturesque, almost monastery-like in its construction. The town was predominantly clergy who had dedicated themselves.
And that's where I was baptized?
That is where you were baptized. They draw the water directly from the bright water lake.
So it
is one of the holy. It is one of the holy locations because the shepherd bathed in this pool, in this lake, and if legend is to be believed, and if you're faithful, it is the truth. When the shepherd washed themselves and their wounds from their martyred march, their blood cleared the silt from the lake. The only reason the lake is clear is because the shepherd's blood purified the waters.
So this is the Matraset is the Royal Dukedom, Petrifor is the Holding, and next to the cathedral in Petrifor is the town of Brightwater.
Brightwater Lake, the town of Brightwater, is on the lake. The cathedral is right there. Brightwater, though, had a little bit of a plague issue.
Right.
Yeah, so, would we know what kind of plague we're talking about? Because plague is not a quiet thing.
Especially if it's not since I've been alive. It would be more recent.
It was more recent.
Within the past 10 years.
Sickness does crop up.
Yeah.
This does happen. If you know your history at all, Naples was absolutely famous for it at one time.
I just didn't know what the
type of
symptoms.
plague?
Yeah, what kind of plague do we get? What's our plague?
This was a. Nope, I don't want to do that one. That's too real. I was about to say consumption, but no, too real. A plague of sores.
Okay. A bubonic style.
But it has been nearly 10 years since that happened. There are those who have gone in and tried to purify the town. And they succeeded, but it's still hard. So it's not like there are just plague houses with bodies in them. The town has been purified after the plague hit it. The problem is the recovery, the rumors, people avoid it. The only reason people would want to go back there is because of Brightwater, but it's still been rather soon, so it hasn't started again. The cathedral has only just recently started having services again. And only the people from Petrifor go, and most of them wear scented rags around their mouths when they go. Wearing almost it's veils with rich oiled herbs woven into the fabric. Because, don't you know, illness is born by smelling.
Mm.
And if you can block out the bad smell, it means that you're not getting the corrupted
People did really
you know,
weird things
smell.
during the plague.
Like the plague doctor masks.
Oh, God.
Oh, I was actually
Poor-
gonna say shit.
Poor Yosef.
He lives next to the.
Oh,
No,
oh,
he should
oh.
be safe from illness. It's such a healthy location.
That smell is actually considered a good smell.
Yeah,
Hmm,
so
okay.
during the Black Plague, people would actually smear shit across their face because it was such a pungent smell. They thought that that would actually defend against
The
anything,
vodding,
any other.
sickly smells.
And-
It's not. They thought the smell was the sickness.
Yeah, they thought you caught plague by smelling the dead
Yeah.
of
Mm.
who
So
had died by plague.
yeah, available, doesn't cost any money, and pungent.
Now, obviously, if you were more well off, you would make sure you had something that didn't smell like shit, but shit was compost. Compost is fertilizer. Fertilizer makes things grow, therefore,
The correlative.
it is a good smell.
Yeah.
Everybody goes to it, but it's still correlated with a good smell. But so are pungent odors of heavily oiled rags and such like that. So that's a.
Sorry, that's also for me too. I watch a lot of like plague
I know.
television.
I've seen the Amazon documentary recently watched lists.
Yeah, Queen Elizabeth's spies, the Tower.
Okay.
It's fine.
About 45. No, I'm sorry. About 5 hours shall pass.
Mhm.
If you wish to have a small conversation, a little bit of time as you travel, please do so now. I'm going to run and use the restroom quickly. That's what you come to this channel for, folks. Role play and weird fucking knowledge.
You mentioned this place had a plague?
Yeah, it's the reason why my family hasn't been here since I've been baptized here.
Oh my
But-
god, you are absolutely loaded. You were baptized in the cathedral?
Well, this one. The hell is it called? Give me a second.
Cathedral of the Blessed Martyr.
There you go. That one.
Yeah, that one. The Cathedral of the Blessed Martyr? She says.
Name drop.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we haven't been back. It was more of a plague of sores, and it's been purified since.
Okay.
It's just, you
No
know.
one wants to live there anyway because I can understand it. I guess if it was that long ago, we'll be fine.
I mean, as long as it wasn't a plague of maledictory.
Oh god. Well, we've survived that already.
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna happen with that, especially with them trying to retake that area.
That's true.
I didn't think to check the posts either on our way out. There's been so much going on that usually I would try and keep up with current events so that, you know, when you go to socials and stuff, you're not looking a fool when people are gossiping. I would love a good party.
I mean,
Well, if I get invited to another one, I'll be sure to take you with me. Maybe you will find someone there, just not my family. You were joking before when you asked if my mother was the type to count all the pearls on her necklace. She is, actually. I would know.
Oh my goodness. Have you heard word from your family at all? I know you'd sent letter.
I did, but I haven't gotten anything back yet.
I suppose that makes sense. It is a good distance away, and well, I don't know the availability of carriers once you go into Scania.
And that's the other thing. The thing is, if my family did need to relocate, if they were still home when my letters arrived to hear my message at all, I mean, if they didn't, they might have already left, perhaps. But you know, obviously, I haven't really gone back to my home per se, or here in the city. So maybe there's maybe there's a letter waiting for me.
I heard that that you are a family of miners. Are you able to just up and move, or are you beholden to? Well, I know many of us work for lords of the area, but I don't know as much for yours.
No, we're allowed to move clearly since I'm out here.
Well, I kind of imagine you might have been like the other two we encountered, just saying fuck it and doing as you would. People often abandon things.
But not without reason. Yes,
I just thought that I just kind of assumed that you were like the other two we ran into, and that sick of something, you looked for a new life.
Well, they seemed to be sick of something before I even knew what it was. So not the same sickness.
Yeah.
And not one that we need to be worried about.
Not like a physical.
Yeah, no, like a. Don't even pretend to do that. I
can be the wilted flower sometimes.
I left for my own reasons, but it wasn't due to any bad relation with my parents. They kind of were just saw they saw things as they were and kind of just took that as it was. And
they were fine with their lot in life. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and for the most part, growing up, I was too. But coming back from being a soldier kind of soured my opinion on that a bit. But
I think a lot of people are really not happy with things. My father he saw things early on, like the two we ran into, and he found a way to work himself up as best as you can, but it's not exactly easy to change your station in life, and the things you have to do to change that station.
Is that why you dress like a lady?
Well, I dress a bit like a lady because I like to convince people that I am as much. My value increases every time I come back to Yosef with something to sell off. I was supposed to be sold for all of a few gold pieces when I was younger.
Well, you
might have been able to afford me after a night of gambling.
I still wouldn't have been able to afford you. I
could
have basically lived my entire life working those mines and never been able to. Not that I would want to.
I don't know if I'm insulted, but I'll err on the side of caution.
I will say that
not because because it's wrong. Not because of I don't know.
It's not that he's saying you're not attractive. It's just that owning another person is wrong, right? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay.
Welcome back to our delightful light carriage chatter.
Question, what was the perfume I borrowed from you? Was it rose water? I want to know, make sure I don't smell like orange blossoms.
No, it wasn't orange blossom. You're fine.
Okay.
I think sable tends to smell like a mulberry kind of thing, so imagine it's probably some berry of some sort. I smell like wine. I'm good. Yeah. Welcome back. How close are we to our location?
I'm gonna say 5 hours have passed.
All right. You've now, okay.
The countryside of Matraset is rolling farmland. This is a breadbasket of Aberdown.
I like bread.
Gentle rains. Far enough from the coast to still receive regular rainfall, but not at the mercy of greater hurricane-sized weather that might sweep along a coast. a long growing season, mild spring, long autumn, a short, intense summer, but evened out on either end by slopingly easy spring and autumn. And the winter, it snows regularly enough.
Unlike here.
But it is not so ridiculously heavy with its snowfall that you're not going to find your farm underneath it later if you don't put up markers.
Had that happen once.
In the autumn, you can see, as you ride past the fields, you can see the clustered crowns of gathered wheats, bales rolled of hay and barley. That's hay, that's barley. You can...
I can almost smell it.
That autumn smell of harvested grain wafts through the air as the season for gathering and shipping off is at its peak. Throughout the day, you saw farmhands working in the fields, scything away, gathering. You could see there were a few horse farms where people were tending to their herds. At every other farm, you can easily see dairy and cows, sheep, and pig, all being tended to. It is a very pleasant ride, and it is extremely nostalgic for Anya, as around these times is when Anya had returned from her summers with her grandmother, and her parents found her always a little bit too encouraged by her grandmother's opinions at times, so they wanted to kind of re-solidify your understanding of your place as a citizen of Brithengall, as a Brithengale. So they would take you to the place of your baptism, and they would have you sit through a weekend's worth of services. Well, you have Saturday morning, you have Friday night service, and then you have a small rest at night, and then you have Saturday morning service, and then you have lunch, and then you have Saturday afternoon service, and then you have dinner, and then you have Saturday night service, and then you get to go to bed, and then you have early Sunday morning service before the sun comes up, because on Sundays...
This is a very demanding cult.
You know, sometimes they have food in the church itself.
So you don't have to leave.
After you eat, after the service. So that way you're encouraged to stick around for the next service.
Oh my god.
Picnic tables outside, so as you walk outside, hey, look, food. And then you have Sunday afternoon service.
Oh god, it's not over
and
yet!
then you can go home.
Yeah. It's how they get the kids.
Brainwashing.
You're like, I'm here, but I'm just looking forward to the snacks table after the service.
You know,
It's worth it for that.
He's the hip cardinal. He walks over, turns a chair around, sits down,
Backwards.
leans onto it, and goes, hey, kids.
Heard of Game of Thrones? You guys heard of up-to-date pop culture?
Anyway.
What do you think about that vine?
Oh.
That's what you kids do today, right? You do it for the vines? Anyway.
Vines are dead.
But God's vineyard never dies.
Oh, jeez.
What in the fuck?
As a side
I
note,
would
Kevin's
like
been
to
to a
hit
few
you.
too many of these hip pastor meetings.
It's truly the
PBM
Tevin
raid.
episode.
You can see before you to the left, so that's to the south of the road. You can see the over a hill in the distance, not over the horizon, but still rather far off. You know, it would take you a couple, like an hour, maybe an hour and a half to get to from where you are, but you can see clearly above the orchards. There's an apple orchard to your left right now.
Oh.
Fine rows of ripe red apples. You can see rising above that orchard, you can see Petrophore in the distance. And to your right, as the ground levels off, before sharply rising to this crested hill, not sharply rising, it gently rises and then it sharply drops away, thus creating a split sort of in elevation. Downhill is the town, the rather empty town of Brightwater, and on the hill, the cathedral at Brightwater, Cathedral of the Martyr. It's not as resplendent. Like, when you think cathedral, you think of the cathedral at Aberdown, the Cathedral of the Exalted, where the four paragons, the four seraph, ascended alongside Brighton. You think of that. To call this a cathedral makes you almost feel like it's doing a disservice to the word. It is cumbersome in its construction. It is, as I said before, it is monastery-esque. It has the appropriate four-pointed cross, even-sided cross construction, but it doesn't have flying buttresses. There aren't grand arcs. There is a steeple at the very center where the prayers of the faithful are channeled and thrust up into the sky, sent on their way to the Seraph and the Exalted. But it looks more like four small square keeps and a middle big tall keep. It is large, it is grand, but it is a much older construction, making you feel as though it is probably one of the first cathedrals built. And knowing the history of it, it is one of the first. It's built upon the shrine that was placed there originally to the shepherd in her martyrdom. The church is dummy thick.
I'm over here like, oh, it's like a minimalist, like a really brutal design. Dummy thick.
Dummy
Come on,
thick.
guys.
Can't hear. I might alert the bees. The clapping of my dummy thick bells in my belfry. I'm tired.
I was good till you said belfry. For some reason.
Sorry, I'm disassociating. What was that? Oh, God.
I am sorry. I am having a very... I'm a little loopy. I was in a state before the show began. I apologize.
You're doing great. You're doing wonderful.
Doing great, honey.
Oh, I can't decide if I need sleep or liquor.
I understand if I see the viewer count plummet now. I get it. I understand, guys.
Oh.
So...
Anyway, look at that little
the
church.
right,
Yee.
Past the town, you can see the sparkling, dappled surface of Brightwater Lake. It's a large lake. Now, I'm not talking Great Lakes where you would confuse it for an ocean if you didn't have knowledge of the fact that it's a area, but it's large enough that you do have to turn your head to see either shore. It is a beautiful lake. You can see a river leading in and a river leading away. And the season, the way it is, you can occasionally see the glittering spray in the air as salmon break the surface in schools. as they leap for the last insects of the season that hover across the surface of the water. As he gets to the crossroad, Friar begins to turn the carriage towards Petrifor. You had mentioned that you wanted to go to Petrifor. You kind of neglected to tell him that you wanted to go to Brightwater.
Oh, I
thought you had
didn't
done that.
realize.
I thought you had done that intentionally to be like, let's not tell the carriage guy that we want to go to the Plague Town.
No, I honestly didn't realize that there was a difference. I didn't know about Brightwater until after we started the thing.
That's why I did I was like, it's Berthingall, and then Matraset is the dukedom, and then
I thought Petrifor was the area with the...
That's the holding, and then you can have a town and a village within that. I was literally doing like the country, state.
Yes, but I didn't hear about
County.
Brightwater until we were already started the journey, so I didn't
apologize
realize
for
that I needed to change
Sorry,
it
again,
all.
that was me missing a moment. I apologize.
No, it's fine.
Would you have told him that you
I would
wanted
have
to
told.
go?
Yeah.
Okay.
You could just pretend like we amended it. Well, like maybe don't tell him exactly.
Or as we're
where
like
yet.
approaching Petrifor, we're just like,
Oh, actually, no.
It's been cleansed.
Could
It's
you?
totally fine.
I mean,
I've been there before.
He holds up, and it's maybe a half-hour walk from the road. It's still early afternoon.
oh, I mean, good time.
Like I said, 5-6 hours. That is still a day's worth of riding, though, you have to remember.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said it's about a day away. That doesn't mean that it takes 24 hours to get there. It means a day of travel. He opens the door of the carriage, goes to the back, unhooks any luggage that you had brought, puts it down in front of the door where he has also put the step stool to get down from the carriage. And he says, I'm going to be going to Petrifor to stable my horses. I will not be going to Brightwater with you. I'm already going to get yelled at for this. I don't want to possibly bring home sick horses.
Understandable. There haven't been any sickness there in years, but I understand.
Fear riddles everybody. You know, makes you human.
I would just suggest that on the ride back, we're going to have as little contact as possible. So if you'll please excuse me as he holds his hand out to help you down.
What do I owe him?
It was an extra silver from what you were paying before, and you were paying him
A lot of money. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual...
It would be
Could Sable possibly help you figure out the appropriate amount of money this time? She did say she doesn't want you getting fleeced anymore. And you did ask for help.
I did ask for help specifically.
yes. That is actually very very doable.
This be like a bargain? No.
It would be a bargain check to knock the price down. I actually have to check wages for a carriage driver.
Yeah, I actually have an actual idea of like how much money he should be making if he was. Because I mean, you think about like bonds and the silver, then the gold. It's like
Yeah.
I don't know,
Whoa.
money. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Sorry,
things.
that was me. I was just like,
What about it?
yeah.
There are 3 coins.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know. Maybe not everybody knows. You've only been dealing in gold so far. In silver, everyone forgets about the bronze pennies. I've got 22 of them. I didn't have any gold before. It was just those 22 bronze pennies.
It's because you bought yourself some nice ass armor.
I bought a shield. I don't Well, oh,
No,
you mean
no,
like
to
his
start
actual
with,
yes.
yeah.
Well, okay, that came with the character. I did
No,
not actually
no,
spend
I mean-
his entire life savings on this one piece of
I
armor.
totally imagine that being the case. That's a lot of money. How did you get that?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what you're
I did some terrible things for it.
Oh,
I
is
did
it still have
terrible
dead people on
things.
it?
It
I did
is
terrible things.
15. It is traveling by overland coach.
Ooh.
1 day's worth of travel by overland coach is a gold. Your little carriage around the city should have been like a silver for the whole day.
So he is
'Cause it
dropping
was-
us
it
off
was
not
within the
quite where we
city.
need to be.
So he would take a gold right now. You
I'll
know
give
that
him
you
a
would be
gold.
traveling further.
Mhm.
That's the main thing, is that you would be traveling much further, and he basically rode you for 5 hours, drove you for 5 hours, and then he'll take you home. He's got stamina.
Steady,
all
steady.
right?
So I give him a gold.
No, hold on. Are you saying that we have to walk the rest of the... You won't... The town's right there. There's no reason why you...
Yes, that's town I don't want to go to.
That's the town we paid you to take us to.
Ah. But I have to take the horses there.
How you take
It
care
would
of the
be-
horses wouldn't necessarily be our concern.
That's the way it's happening. I appreciate all of your patronage, but I tend to draw the line at towns that may end up costing me my life and livelihood. So I still offer you the service up to a point. This is that point. I appreciate it. I'll even say this. 8 silver. And we'll call it square.
Anya, give him the silver.
I still give him the gold.
What?
I know that you said you don't want to be fleeced, that I shouldn't be fleeced anymore, and I understand you didn't mean it maliciously, but you did everything you could, and you did bring us this far, and it could possibly be a dangerous place.
To be clear, we are fully aware that you have extorted my
He's
employer's
already-
good faith. Oh, you aren't even listening,
He's
sir!
already put the coin away. He's starting to walk over. He turns. He's like, I just thought you were very generous and you understood the plight of the working stiff in the city, and I appreciated it, hence why I made myself available to you at all times. I am still at your service until you start bringing in the concept of going to a plague town. So, best of luck. I hope you don't get sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I will... Do you want me to be back here at a certain time, or would you like me to meet you here in the morning?
What?
I'm just wondering if he catches if he's at the stables, if he'll meet up with Klaus or not.
I don't know if the coachman is friends with our doctor or if that matters for anything.
I don't know. Just
You want me to carry a message?
No, I just, if you happen to see him, just
Say hi.
Yeah, sure. Say hi from us. He'll
Sure.
he'll love it. He'll love it.
That sounds good. I'll say hi for you.
All right.
And I'll even buy him an ale. And he holds up the gold. He goes into his pocket, pulls out the gold coin, puts it back. Gets into the coach, into the driver's seat. Hits the reins and turns north. No, south. Turns south towards Petra 4.
Just so you know, that was only a 20% tip on 8 gold. So, or 8 silver. 2 extra silver, 25%, but fucking sue me.
I assume that included
You have the money to
original
be
tip.
sued.
Yeah, clearly you could afford a lawyer.
So can you right now.
Not anymore.
You start walking towards
Wait,
Brightwater.
Brightwater. The road is lonely. At first. Taking you about a half hour or so. You notice that you're being passed by other carriages. They don't stop for you. They don't slow down. You just hear the horses. And looking behind you, you know to get out of the way. Please make awareness tests.
What difficulty?
Standard.
Okay. Failure.
Dang it, fail.
I would fail, but I could
Well,
re-roll it.
We do have a lot of fortune in our pool right now.
Can I say I could
can we
re-roll?
just all try to re-roll?
No.
No,
I have
only
like
one
a
of us?
50.
Okay, well you have the highest. Then yeah, you go for the re-roll.
If we're gonna try and be lucky, 50-50. And I succeed.
Nice.
You start to notice several crests. Well, you would notice crests, but you know that a bar with curtain fabric has been hung over most of the crests of the carriages as you ride. Occasionally, the wind kicks up and moves one of the curtains. And on one of the carriages, you see the crest of Paveron. You also see a cart, basically a merchant's cart that would normally be piled high with goods. A covered wagon, so to speak. Rides by, and you see that there's quite a few people in them. Different people of more of the merchant class. You notice several well-to-do noble coaches pass you, but you only catch that one. They start passing you in greater numbers. 2 at first, 3, 8. Quite the gathering is riding past you, riding on towards Brightwater.
Okay, so all these are approaching Brightwater. There's nothing leaving.
Going to the party.
They ride. They don't go to Brightwater, though. They ride directly up to the cathedral. About 45 minutes later, you arrive, and there is a assembly of about 12 carriages and wagons, as well as the stable near the eastern side of the cathedral is populated with quite a few horses, more horses than just the carriage. The carriages would require to be pulled. You can see people milling about, some of them attending the shrine to the open doors of the Cathedral of the Martyr. As you've gotten closer, you can see that there are some relief carvings onto the sides of the cathedral's doors and around the sides. Nothing as extravagant as there was in Rathmarban, or as there are obviously at the Cathedral of the Exalted, but still images of the shepherd, of the martyr, stand, her holding her shepherd's crook, her hand up and open, one of them having in that similar pose, but her robe on her left side is down over the shoulder, and you can see whip scars across her left shoulder from her martyred march. At the very crest is an image of 2 hands going into water, both scarred, mimicking the story of the martyr seeking to bathe herself in the Brightwater Lake. The people are an intriguing one. You see mostly... You see burghers for the most part, but you also see nobles that obviously are trying to not dress like nobles, but don't understand that the shit is too clean.
Oh, Louis when he goes out for his night.
Ah, yes.
Look at me, I look like one of them!
Anyone that
His
I
curls shining.
Anyone that I recognize?
They wear masks.
Shit.
A la the Masquerade
big
style
Very
masks.
much a cult.
I was thinking about that, but I was like, oh no, I'm probably not gonna need it. Nope, should have.
Well, they wear them because as you get to the gate, you can see that there is actually a stand with a basket and an attendant. As you're walking up, you're seeing these people beyond the gate. As you get to the gate, this attendant is also wearing one. It is blank. Before him, them, you can't tell actually. There are arrays of masks, each mask representing one of the seraph. There is the mask, a paladin's mask, which has a faux helm above the forehead and down the sides. The martyr with the scarred cheeks, or the shepherd with the scarred cheeks. The chirurgeon with the even-sided cross in the middle of the forehead. And the smith, beaded sweat done in relief down the sides of the face. As you arrive, they say nothing. They gesture to the masks. Points to each of you, holds up one finger, and then points to the masks in succession.
Alright, well, who's picking first?
Well, there's plenty it seems, and she goes and takes
There
one.
are plenty of them. They're made of like a mache.
So yeah, like when Sable grabs one of the scarred faces of Mara, she looks at it. Does it look like there's anything peculiar about them? As she's sliding back her black veil to put the mask in
You've
place.
seen plenty of paper, you've seen masquerade masks before.
Yes.
These aren't extravagant ones, but they're made the same concept. A small thread around from ear point to ear point to rested on the back of your head. Although you could probably pin it under your hat.
Yeah.
Sieg and Anya?
I'm gonna pick up the chirurgeon mask.
Sig will pick up the smith's mask.
Ooh. I expected the paladin.
Mm.
Yes.
Maybe he's trying to be more sensitive because of how paladin's blessings are going around.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna go with the smith.
All right. With that, the attendant, dressed in standard a noble's stable hand would be dressed in such. Obviously not finery, but
Presentable.
I have to look at this. So wear this. Well-to-do for somebody who obviously has no money or is expected to serve. Gestures to pass and enter into the front yard, the yard of this gathering. people aren't really talking to each other much. There are some small clusters of maybe 2 or 3 similar to your groups. Your vision is slightly obstructed by the masks and everyone else wearing masks. It's hard to get an idea of who is who.
I mean, for our own sakes, I mean, we're in our own, like, we know what our clothes look like, so we can at least recognize ourselves in the crowd.
Well, you know what you're wearing. It's not
Yes.
like you put on the mask and you forgot what everybody's wearing.
Okay, yeah.
So
yeah.
we can pick each other out. Also, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one with long white hair.
I don't know. I feel like
There's a
it's-
few.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
There's a few, yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Shit.
No,
The only one born with white hair.
Please make challenging awareness tests.
Oh, challenging is a -20, right?
That's a -10.
Negative
Hard is a -20.
Challenging,
So it's
hard,
only an 18 that I
arduous.
have to roll.
Oh, okay. I have-
Arduous is the 30.
I rolled 35.
So 40.
Hey, what do you know?
Oh shit, I succeed!
Success.
All right.
13.
I rolled a 7. I needed 18.
Oh, nice.
You see, you noticed several are Stenfod. Or they're rather short and stocky Brythons. A majority seem to be Brython, but occasionally you catch the raven curly hair of an Aquilonian. That northern, the remains of the Aurelian Empire, essentially. The culture that remains now to that. Their attire tends to be a little bit more fanciful. There's a jacket, there's a vest. The sleeves tend to be a little bit poofed. Not slashed, but poofed. They have strange box-like hats. Rounded, but very flat on top. With a vertical rim. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
do.
Low cut shoes with tall stockings that form into tightly gathered pants at the knee. They definitely have a different sense of fashion. But you can pick out an Aquilonian fashion when you see one. You also see several people who are wearing kind of dressed down alien attire. Not many, but enough. All of the carriages have been pulled in, and the drapes that hang over any of the identifying marks of house also hang as you step in.
So I don't suppose anyone else knows where we're supposed to go after we're here.
I mean, the invitation was rather vague, as Cyrus seems he likes to do.
As cryptic as it is, it's harder to see right about now, but there's no reason why we can't mill around and listen to what other people are hearing.
I feel
speaking
better
of
with the
that,
mask.
maybe somebody else knows more information. Doesn't seem like we have to be somewhere specific just yet. Why don't we take some time and peruse, eavesdrop?
I mean, maybe now, maybe with the mask, maybe no one will, tell me to go get him a drink, or, just tell me to bugger off, or, I'll get to listen in on things for once.
It's not really for once, because you do know that at the Resurrectionist meetings,
There are some other Stenfod.
there's some Stenfod, and
Yeah.
also the simple fact is that you've been to other Resurrectionist meetings, and one of the reasons why you find them so comforting to go to those, church group meetings,
Mm-hmm.
is because class is there, but it doesn't hold as much weight.
But we don't... The mask thing, it's not like what we do at every meeting, right?
No.
Okay,
No.
okay, just making sure.
This is
this
new.
eyes wide shut stuff is different.
This is new. So we So you have you have the yard before you. People mill about. There seems to be some that are occasionally pulling off just enough of their mask to have a sip of a drink.
Are they full face?
They are. No, so they're able to drink. It cuts down around the mouth.
Hmm.
If we were to nonchalantly mill about, could we try and listen for rumors, things that people are talking about?
That's what eavesdropping is for.
Yeah.
So yes.
Or will rumor also work?
Yeah. No, eavesdropping. If you're trying to listen in on somebody else's conversation, that's eavesdropping. If you wish to engage in conversation to get information out of people via conversation, that's rumor. So that's the difference between eavesdrop and rumor.
Does it seem like anyone's talking? Would it be weird if she just tried striking up conversations with
There
people?
doesn't seem to be much mingling between the small groups. Nobody's like walking back and forth, and no big groups have formed.
Yeah.
If anything, at times people seem to side-eye another group as they walk past. There is a level of suspicion that has come along with this level of anonymity that has been provided to the attendees.
Well, yeah, your beloved captain could be any one of these masked sorts. So yeah, I could understand the ease.
Let's hope he doesn't recognize me.
How could he not? You're still wearing that.
Okay, yeah, true.
In the cathedral, it's set up like the other ones where there's the altars in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Is that kind of like, is there anyone up there or anything? Where...
You're not inside yet. You're in the yard.
Okay, we're still... okay, the yard,
So,
okay.
On our way in, you're just going to try and eavesdrop. See what people are talking about.
Anybody can attempt this.
Yeah. It's not terrible. What difficulty?
It's eavesdrop, it is perception, and it is standard.
Okay.
The mask is covering your eyes, not your ears.
Success.
Not...
Success?
Can I try to be evil?
Degrees?
What? Oh, 5. Which one's the degree? The 10s or the...
Tens place. Plus your... It's the tens place
not the
plus
ones
your
place, so
bonus,
the one
your
with two
perception bonus.
Okay, so... Oh, 10.
Okay, 10, 5.
Can I spend a point to try to be evil for seek listening in on different conversations?
I mean, we're probably going to get so much information at this
Yeah,
point.
it's fine. Yeah.
If no one succeeded, then I would
Yeah,
be
oh,
like,
absolutely.
Yes,
Both of you can hear them speaking about what is going, are we finally going to see the great work that he's been bragging about? Well, I don't know. He's been talking about it for so long. But after what's been going on in the city over the past few days, I wouldn't be surprised if he had made some kind of breakthrough and was tying up loose ends. You know how Cyrus works. That's all Anya gets. Sable overhears a little bit more from another conversation. I just think it's ghastly. Well, of course it's ghastly, but this is the price we pay to speak with the Exalted. Do you really think he's going to be able to do it today? Well, the amount of money that I've helped move to ensure that our shipments will be able to making it through the docks and then making it their way up to Aberdown from Galia. It's a grim business, but they're just orphans after all.
Wait, what?
They are just orphans after all. Hey, that carriage conversation is real awkward now.
Oh, I didn't catch all that, so alright.
The
carriage conversation I wasn't present for.
The carriage conversation was where Sable disclosed that Anya probably could have bought Sable for the price her father sold her for with her gambling winnings.
And I went about
Slavery's
how
bad.
you really shouldn't.
That's what you meant.
There was a big conversation where he's just like, I wouldn't, but not because you're not pretty or anything like that.
Yeah, that's where you came in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
To give us a context.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
All right. These are the conversations you hear as you walk towards the cathedral itself. The door of the main door, the only door. Like, literally, the door to the paladin opens up onto a cliff face.
So great.
It's a four-sided building, and the opposite of the shepherd is the paladin.
Yep.
And that's the direction of the lake. But you don't build them different. You build them all the same. It needs to have a door for the paladin.
Well.
Don't walk out the paladin's door.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Got it.
See yourself out that door.
Be brave.
A local insult is go take the paladin's path.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Oh my
god,
love it.
a bright waterin insult.
Bright Aquan?
Bright Aquan. Thank you.
A bright water insult. Entering in, the architecture is just as dour as it is on the inside as it is on the outside. It is function beyond all form. The statues are simple. They are not the grand etched marble masterpieces of the smith clutching his hammer, standing over the anvil, raised high to strike down to forge new creations. In the smith's shrine, it's just a hammer. The shepherd is a pair of lambs, and amongst their hooves as they overcross, like they're almost like holding hands, the way the lambs lie down, a shepherd's crook rests across. And they're not fantastically rendered sheep. You can tell they're sheep, but they're not fantastically rendered, not beautiful detail of the masters. But you know, a artist of antiquity created them.
Tools were not great.
No, these were rough hewn.
Clearly, it's fine. I'm not gonna insult things. That's fine.
You can see other people are starting to follow in, and from within, near the central shrine to the Exalted, a voice rings out. The festivities will begin shortly. And at that, you can see the sound resounding. These buildings are built for acoustics. You're supposed to be able to hear a priest give a homily from the back row without any sort of audio assistance. No microphones, no modern fucking shit to help people hear things from far. No. A loud projected voice can carry through these buildings like a pin dropping in the purest silence. So everyone hears this clarion of a voice carry out the doors of the cathedral, becoming like a trumpet for his voice. And those who were milling about in the yard start making their way in through the shrine, each one stopping for a moment, making the sign of the Paladin's cross, making the sign of the exalted cross over their heart, and then moving in, showing the proper deference when you enter a shrine. Some dropping alms into a box near the shrine. Standing by the altar as you start getting closer, this architecture is still the same, pews before you, all leading towards the central shrine. The difference is that this shrine is set a little bit further back, more towards the paladin, as the section towards the paladin seems to be emptier. There's no pews in that direction. And there are wooden, I would say, divider. It is not a wall. It's not a fence. It is a divider. You can see through it, but it is lattice worked. Rather simple lattice work. Separating the shrine from the paladin's portion. There is still a pathway leading up the middle towards the paladin's door, as is befitting any proper cathedral or church to the Exalted. But you can tell that the sides are used for other rooms. You can see small confessionals and other things that would normally be attributed to maybe to the shepherd have kind of moved into the unoccupied direction of the paladin. Standing on the center shrine, wearing a mask. This mask, a little bit extra ostentatious, as it has a grand halo across the front of it.
Oh, god damn it.
Implying a fifth mask design for the Exalted.
Bold.
Well.
Bold of you.
Wearing his gray suit finery, long tails hanging down behind. Holding his cane. And standing behind him wearing the paladin's mask, the 7.5 foot tall
Oh god, it's her.
individual,
Oh wait, no, that one.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
which you know is Hugo.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Cause it ain't, you're not mistaking that guy for anyone
no.
else.
Yep.
But he's still wearing, the mask is actually a little too small. His head is a little bit wider than the mask.
Which mask does he have?
The
Paladin.
Oh,
Yeah.
good. Okay.
As he sees enough people have come in, he taps his cane on the ground. I know you're all here for a wonderful show. So I'm going to give it to you. I said when we started this group that we were going to hear the voice of the Exalted. And I showed you minor wonders. You've all seen them. You've seen the dead speak. You've seen them rouse. We've never understood what they were saying, but we knew that they spoke. And now I figured out a way to bypass it all and go straight to the source. We shall hear the voice of the Exalted tonight. And there is a round of applause that strikes up as he gestures around with his cane, grandly pointing to the ceiling when he speaks of the Exalted. Now, it is not here where we will be having our festivities. It will be within the tunnels. As he taps the shrine with his cane. So if you will all follow me, we will make our way down below the church. As he turns and smartly begins walking, Hugo turning slowly in time, making his way towards the Paladin's path.
Anya, are there catacombs in this church?
Make a folklore test.
Success.
Yes, there are catacombs.
Oh, shit.
Yes, there are catacombs.
They were used to hide soldiers during the Unification War. When Brighton rode about and brought all the lords under rule to create Brethengal, Brighton hid here. because the martyr brought him here.
They were used during the unification. The martyr hid Brighton in the catacombs below the church.
It's a big. It's an old grave. They're old graves, so they're not. It's not like it's a new grave that we're crawling around in, right? Like you wouldn't. No one's freshly buried in catacombs anymore.
We're being invited into another basement.
I think you need to change your dooming to basements.
Sieg also having issues with going underground as a Stenfod is humorous as well.
Sable's dooming is do not cross a freshly dug tomb.
My dooming was beware the comet's warning.
Mine is 3 flies bring your doom.
No Nurgle.
So
for
when we
you.
were around the manure, I was just like, turn around.
Break it up. No,
Also
two
my
spawns.
Hello
Super.
there, time to die.
People start following.
Do we want to be like at the end so we're like the closest to the door? Or do we want to be, further in so you could get a good spot? What do you think?
I'm really curious. And I really want to see.
I'm not gonna let you two. I'm not gonna get separated from you guys again. So it'll be right next to you when we go down there.
I'll trip someone to get a good spot.
Grab
Oh.
Sieg's arm and hold on to
Okay.
it.
Okay. Okay.
Into the tomb we go.
I can't use my shield like this.
Thankfully, it's currently over your shoulder.
No!
The three of you, arm in arm,
This is
Wait.
begin making your way down.
Yes.
Okay. As you walk towards the paladins, in the direction of the paladin shrine down the paladin's path, you see that one of the doors that looked almost like a confessional booth opens to a stairway leading down. You see Hugo try to sideways fit in to go down the hall. The stairs aren't exactly cut for a man his size.
Is it dark?
It's lit by
Okay.
torch.
Okay.
Well, not braziers that hang from overhead. Like it's 3 chains to a bowl. That bowl has light in it. It's a decently tall set of stairs. So it's about a 10-foot stairway, and there's about hanging a foot down are the light, are the burning braziers, the suspended ones above your head. The smell of earth and burning oil permeates as you make your way down. But there's also something else in the air. That smell of ozone. The smell that that hangs in the air after a lightning strike. Like the air is burned. But it's an electrical fire burn.
Have I smelled this before? Besides...
Everyone kind of has. It's kind of it's an unfamiliar smell, but anybody who's been near a lightning strike or has worked with magic kind of knows that smell. To everyone else, it's kind of an astringent, metallic smell almost that hides behind the earth and burning oil. Winding down below, passing by horizontally dug graves that are not covered. Bones lie with deteriorating fabric over them. Flesh long gone. The earthenwork walls are solid. They don't look like stone, but you're fairly sure if you bumped into it, you wouldn't knock any soil loose. And there's about 2 every every couple of steps down, and you can see that they all have rags across them, but some of them have a kite shield across its chest. Veterans, or, well, those who fell, casualties in the Unification War, where the Battle of Petrifor was fought, when Petrifor was brought into line with Brighton. Heading down those stairs, you eventually start to see a blue haze. A blue light starts filling the tunnel. As you get down, it opens up into a larger chamber. A very large chamber. Circular. 30 feet deep. Rows cut, creating an almost theater in the round like visual. A viewing area, and then a step down and another viewing balcony, and at the very center, as people start milling in, and you can hear the oh and the oh, the gasps, the shock of people as they step into the room. For as you step in, you see the mechanical construction, the brass and winding gears, the coiled springs, the glass tubes, piping carrying you know not what fluid around. At the very center, a large circular glass containment stands about 20 feet wide and 15 feet tall. The light seems to emanate from this. As you can see, you don't understand exactly what it is. It's tubing, and but it's giving off like almost flickering light. Neon gas traveling through the pipes.
God, I love it.
Pale blue light being shed from them. At the very center, two figures sit. And it takes you a moment to realize that they must be young. They look almost as children. One, but they both wear white shifts. They kneel next to each other, almost holding each other. You can see that chains and tubing runs from their wrists, chaining them to each other and to the floor as the tubing runs into more machines around them. Your guess is they're maybe 10 or 12 years old. Maybe a little bit older. And you know one of them is Galian. For one has her eyes covered by a brass and copper mask. Her mouth exposed, but her ears covered. This almost helmet-like appliance. Pale white hair hanging down to her shoulders underneath it. Stained brown by something. but from her ears you can see a tube over muffs in the helmet, tubes traveling behind her and around, connecting to a full face mask covering the nose and mouth of the other, her eyes blank and white. You can see the raw flesh where the masks meet their skin, irritated and raw, as though it had been pressed into the flesh itself. Machines, cogitators whirl around as Cyrus walks over, holds his hands up, and says, "We shall hear from our oracles." Turning and bowing to the pair inside this small glass prison. And a very weak, nervous round of applause creeps through the attendees, some looking around nervously, as all three of you need to make resolve checks right now at a hard level.
Hard resolve. Oh, it's willpower. Okay. Not great. But, it's gonna be probably not great.
I need to roll
Crit
a 10.
success.
Crit success.
I'm gonna need one of them rerolls.
The crit success actually returns a fortune to the pool.
Oh, well, you can use that one to reroll.
God
Well,
damn it,
yeah, I
you
need to
had to get a
reroll as
critical
well.
God damn it.
You've gotten like 3 critical successes
No,
today.
you'll see. One of you is going to fail. Go ahead.
Reroll? Oh yeah, that's still definitely failed.
Oh, you
Such a-
re-rolled?
I rerolled and failed.
Okay, so that point that you put back into the
Yeah.
pool for your crit success
Yeah.
immediately goes away.
I don't think I will try to reroll because I need to get a 10.
Okay, so both of you failed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of you receive
I had to get a 35.
7 corruption.
Whoa.
7 conflict.
Oh, hello. Hello. Okay.
Oh, thank willpower.
As the weight of what you look upon rests on your minds.
The orphans.
I honestly should have failed that, 100%.
Oh.
Character-wise,
He walked-
there's no way I should have.
She's like whispering.
Cyrus walks over and starts turning a handle on one of the arrays, a cogitator that stands up to about his chest, with keys and dials and turning I already said dials. I didn't want to say dials again, but dials.
Own it!
As he begins to turn it, what looks like a automatic piano's scrolled paper starts to roll out of it as he turns it. But looking in, you can see the two girls holding each other. And the one that you can see her eyes, they open as wide as they possibly can, and that much more. As you can see the pain in her throat, the strain, and the filling of her lungs, as the other one begins to scream. And Cyrus simply says, "They listen to the spheres." And that is where we are going to end tonight's game. I have been Conry. With me has been...
Cake.
Just Kevin.
Cassandra.
That's it for us tonight, everybody. We hope to see you again soon. And until we see you again, remember to always stay evil. Good night, everybody.